What's up, dudes? We're early, baby. I changed my sleep schedule. Dun, 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 dun. Still lights out. What are you on, an army base? Where are you stationed, soldier? Fort Crag. They got you on the front lines. Walking on the treadmill, studying the digestive system for lab. Let's go. When you do it on the treadmill, are you reading as you go, or are you just like listening to notes or something? Is this true? Are you live now? I am, yes. And we're probably going to try to start live streams early from this point on. Because I need to fix my life. When your sleep is bad, everything else is bad. And that's where we begin. And it's honestly insane. Like, dude, as soon as I fixed my sleep, it was like I immediately got so much shit done. Obviously, right? Because shit's open, but need to fix your life too. Well, you know, that's the thing. Just figure out what the first step is and just do it. Because I don't know. You gotta just like think of life from the perspective of it's not that I want to, but it's happening. It is happening. You are doing it, and it's already happened. I'm used to it being dark in your stream. Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird? Maybe we'll meet some new friends here. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, everyone. See ya, tuxedo. Me, the Jolie Polly, I really need to move. I just need to sit down and just do it. Oh, like to a new place? Yeah, I'm sure that, honestly, like, that's the nice thing about, like, AI is it can, like, figure out all of the logistical stuff for you, you know, so you can at least get the planning stage on paper and then, you know, figure out your next steps from there. I know it sounds bad. Sometimes people say AI is just going to, like, you know, take away our thinking, but sometimes it helps just to be, like, a compliment to that, like, first step, you know. Jeremy Crow, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. And welcome back, Brooklyn Gonzalez, for 58 months. Hello, hello. Young Buddha sleep schedule indeed. Let's go. I'm going to be honest. I like waking up early. I mean, obviously I like sleep, so you want to get your sleep. But just being able to get up and feel like, all right, I'm ahead of everybody else. I don't know, you know, that's like not trying to sound like the guru bullshit or like the red pill stuff where like you got to wake up and have 3 days in one day and fucking clean the poop off the toilets with your teeth. Nothing like that. It's just, yeah, well, hopefully I can stick with it, and I will stick with it, but things will change a little bit for the streams. I feel like I'm hearing shit behind me. Maybe that's the music. I was just talking to the bank, and I had to bag the AI to let me speak to a person because it kept repeating itself. Yeah, that shit's so annoying. Oh, that's in the music, okay. But yeah, how are you guys doing? How was everyone's day? Did you guys do anything fun? Do anything cool? And if you can see the clock there, we're going to get started in about 6 minutes recording tomorrow's video. Scary, true childhood friend stories. I sound good? That's good. That's my goal. Fitting 3 days into one booty sounds like a hell of a situation. I believe in you, Rook. I believe. On your way back from island. Which island? Hopefully none of the bad ones. Today is my one day off, so I accidentally slept all day. I'm being productive now. Well, I don't blame you, you know. Sometimes you need that catch up on sleep. It's just tough, like, it kind of throws things off for tomorrow. Hence why my shit was so massively fucked. Because unfortunately, doing YouTube also turns you into a goddamn sleep demon. Idiocracy was prophecy. AI only helps as long as you use it as a supplement. T9 your process and not replacement. I agree. Happy belated birthday. Whose birthday is it? Oh, Strauss. Happy late birthday, Strauss. Birthday was yesterday. I had some fun then. Nice, dude. What did you do? Getting into anything cool? Met a cool local that took us everywhere. Saw Marilyn Monroe's house. Nice. Oh. I just got a text that there's a crazy storm going on. Hopefully the internet doesn't go out. Let me check this real quick, actually. I didn't even hear it. Oh shit. Yeah, it's pretty rainy out. Happy Japanese birthday. What's that? I actually think that sound was a snow or rain. Yeah, it's like a heavy... Dude, it got up to like... It was crazy. It got up to the 70s today, like randomly, but then we got this like terrible thunderstorm, which hopefully it's not too bad. That burnt peanut guy you talked about played this dinosaur game I've been playing for a while, and he caused all the servers to be full with new players. Dude was getting like 44k views on a stream. Yeah, that's awesome. What dinosaur game was it where you just go around as a dinosaur? He's got a pretty massive following, and I think he's really funny. I mean, I can understand why people might get annoyed with him over a period of time, but I think he's funny and seems like a nice guy. It's over 100 degrees in Vegas, LA, over 115 in Arizona. Holy shitters. Have you seen Invincible? I watched Invincible seasons 1 through 3. And, season 1 obviously was pretty goated. Season 2 kind of started to fall off a little bit, and the storylines just kind of got lame. I mean, wait, actually... Is this season 3 that's out now? Maybe I only seen 1 through 2. But I remember, like, basically after they rebooted, it was kind of, like, not that great. And things just kind of went downhill. Burnt peanut is Satan. How come? What'd he do? Was he mean to you? It's called The Isles. Has a ton of... Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of that. Dinosaurs, and it's a different game depending on what you play. Each server is 115 people on an island. You can only communicate with your species. Oh, that's fun. If you change your schedule first, anything to make you happy, you. Thank you. I mean, the YouTube's videos will obviously still be the same, 9 p.m. EST. And then I won't have to worry about, like, them ever being late, because I'll be on top of my shiz. I have seen people play The Isle. It does look really good. I mean, just like the dinosaur movement by itself, like, looks awesome. Sarah, thank you for the 5. Do you drink energy drinks? I've been drinking Monsters with, like, water bottle flavoring. Ask me my recipes in the chat. I used to drink them, but I've recently stopped because I've heard energy drinks just constantly pump your body full of cortisol, right? Because it's basically you're indirectly trying to stress your body with that amount of, like, caffeine and stimulant. So it's just putting your body in a constant state of stress. And I'm fine drinking coffee. There's benefits to drinking coffee, antioxidants, all that kind of shit. But the amount of shit that they just put in energy drinks, I mean, obviously I've been drinking them for years, but when you really look into it, you're like, that does look like fucking battery acid. And I don't think that's probably great for my gut, seeing as most cancers start within the gut. And drinks are really bad. Shame they taste so good. I know, right? And make you feel so good. Oh, yeah. I'm fucked today as I sip on my second Red Bull. If you die, you die. If you live to old age, you get to be reborn and keep your advantages. Takes hours for bigger dinos like T-Rex and giant crocs. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about real life. I was like, geez. It got dark. Look into Huel drinks. Oh, my old roommate was vegan. He would drink Huel. I'm not really into vegan shit or have any interest in it. I remember there was like a really funny, I don't know, some meme where it was like some vegan guy trying to like open up one of his Huels, And like he can't open it with his hands, so he has to use some tool to do it. I don't know why, that's just so fucking funny. Like whips out his Huel tool to crank open his fucking vegan soy drink. Are girls with fun colored hair a turn off? No, I mean, there's all sorts of reasons someone might have fun colored hair other than like annoying politics stuff. Like, as long as they're just fun people and nice people and open-minded and not a bummer, you know. Hey, Dr. D-say, or Dre D-say, sorry, I thought it said doctor for a second. Might be a doctor, I don't know. But Dre, thank you so much, my friend. Welcome to the Buttersock cult. You now have access to bonus content. Are energy drinks worse than alcohol? No way, not even close, but I genuinely am not too certain the extent of dangers that the energy drinks have. All right, guys, we reached down the countdown here. Thanks for being here. Click like, click share. We're going to get into recording here, set the spooky mood. Husband tried Huel, he didn't like it, so I drank it. Yeah, it's all good. Might not have the same normal audience tonight starting so early, but hopefully everyone can adjust as time goes on here. But thanks for being here, guys. Click like, click share. Like I said, we're recording scary childhood friends. And yeah, feel free to make yourself comfy, cozy, chat with the chat, ask any question you want. I don't care about anything. You can't offend me, you can't upset me. We're here to make the earth better. I thought YouTube was lying to me when I saw, yeah, a little confusion. They said, if you don't stream now, we will literally kill you. I said, okay, you got it. You should probably make an announcement somewhere that you'll be changing the normal timeline. Yeah, probably. Maybe on my community post or something at some point. I do have an Instagram where I post when I go live on YouTube at letsread.official. Been listening for years now. First time being on the stream. I'm excited. Yeah. So yeah, anybody who's new to the stream, basically, I'm just recording tomorrow's stories. There's going to be a lot of flub ups. There's going to be a lot of random interruptions. We're going to have some giggles, some schmiggles, some goobly gops. It might not be your style, you know, if you like the calmness of the normal videos, but it's okay, you know. Your goal this stream is to distract me as much as possible so I miss my bedtime. Some giggles and sharts. Growing up, I wasn't a small kid. No, I'm not going to be ashamed to say it. I was fat. Medically, I qualified as obese, and I suffered from some pretty severe depression following my parents' divorce. There was an emptiness in my life when my mom went off and left us, and I filled the void with food. I'm not that person anymore, but I'm not going to be ashamed that I was either. That's the kind of thing that leads down the path that I followed in the first place. And by the time I started high school, I weighed way over 200 pounds and I was very big. I hated gym class and I dreaded the showers even more. It's not like everyone in my grade was some jock or anything like that, but I was by far the biggest boy in freshman year. The only upside to it is that I was a tough little guy as well. The bullies soon gave up on any kind of physical violence against me because I could take it. Shove me against the lockers, I'd just bounce back. Literally too, I guess. Slap my fat rolls, I had a very high pain threshold. Call me fat? Well, yeah, I knew I was. I could hardly deny it. I didn't love hearing it, but just pointing out that I was a big boy only stung internally. And so yeah, I was bullied and it did upset me, but I was great at not showing it, and I think a lot of the kids respected that. There was one kid though. His name was Neil, and he was as skinny as I was fat. Now I was pretty short for my age, but he was a whole head shorter than me, a really tiny guy, but he wasn't some adorable little shorty. Neil was a mean one, and no mistake. You could tell from the glint in his eye and the perpetual smirk on his face. And rumor had it that Neil could be such a bully that he once made a senior guy cry. Nobody really seemed to know exactly how Neil was a bully. Kids just knew to be wary of him and keep away from him, and this resulted in a couple of things. One, Neil had no friends. Nobody wanted to actually spend time with him because he was so unpredictable and supposedly volatile. Now sure, People would be polite to him and nod hello in the halls, but nobody wanted to sit with him at lunch or invite him to social events or anything like that. And two, it meant that some of the more physical bullies had it in mind to take Neil down, and that's where I came in. One day I was sitting alone eating lunch in the courtyard because, like Neil, I also didn't have any actual friends, and so who should come and sit beside me but Neil himself? He asked if I wanted half of his sandwich, and to be honest, it did look really delicious. I really didn't know what to do. Neil, this famous idiot, was offering me food. Was there some catch to it? Like it was filled with razor blades or something? In the end, I decided that I was more scared of what would happen if I said no, so I took the sandwich. And this seemed to make Neil happy, and even more so when I actually ate it. I didn't really know what to say after that, so I just sort of asked him if he was having a good day. Neil ignored my question and told me that he had a proposal for me. Neil basically proposed that I act as his bodyguard, and in exchange, he'd make sure that I wasn't the target of bullies. I told him I wasn't really bullied anymore these days, and he grinned, that sort of snide grin that he had, and pointed out that this was because he had left me alone so far. It was a good point. Neil had never bullied me, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to find out what would happen if he did. And so I agreed to be his friend and bodyguard, and this arrangement somehow lasted all the way to junior year. Neil used me to cause all kinds of trouble. He'd pick on certain kids, really vile stuff, and then have me threaten to fight them, or in most cases, take any blows that would have been aimed at him. Sometimes he'd force me to beat up younger kids, younger than myself, as we got older. In junior year in particular, we saw a few freshman targets that Neil took great delight in having me hurt. Now you may be wondering how Neil managed to have such a hold over me, especially since I wasn't that particularly thin-skinned. Well, Neil managed to find that chink in my armor, my mom. Anytime I tried to push back against Neil or deny him, then he'd throw a barb my way about how my mother had left because of her disgusting fat son and her autistic daughter and her fat R-slur husband. Neil also seemed to know pretty intimate details of the man my mother had run off with and what she was doing now. When I asked Dad about this, he got really quiet and just sort of asked me who I'd heard this from, which was all the answer I needed. Neil was able to use my mother against me quite often, and that hurt. It really hurt. And so I took the path of the coward. I chose to hurt other people instead of letting Neil hurt me. And I know this makes me a bad person. I regret all of it, but it is what it is now. And like I said, I'm going to call things as they are, although in this case, yes, I am ashamed of who I was. Neil's influence over me almost ruined my high school career as well. My report cards went steadily downhill. Dad never punished me. He just got kind of sad. One time, he was a little bit drunk, and he asked where he was going wrong with me and what he could do to help me to get back on track. And it just about broke my heart. And instead of facing up to that, I said something incredibly mean to him that I still apologize for. Dude, we were on a bit of a roll there. A Tootsie roll. Oh, what's up, dude? Sorry. What are we talking about? We're just recording tomorrow's stories. Please describe this Ruben. Who's Ruben? To make content full-time, been around since the beginning. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, how long did it take me? So I started in 2014, and I would say, based on the job that I worked as a nurse. It took me till 2017. A lot of that success can be attributed to the fact that, like, the channel was actually taking off, right? You know, and can be attributed to the fact that the channel took off, and in basically 3 years, I was making as much as I was making as a nurse. And then basically I started to roll my hours back at that job, and by 2019, early 2019, I think it was February, I quit and just did this full time, because at that point I think I paid off my student loans, and my thought process was like, well, fuck it, dude. If that was the only thing in my mind that, like, going to school had to pay for, really, besides, eventually owning a house or something like that, or paying rent or whatever. So in my mind, I was like, fuck it, dude. If I can pay these off, even if I fail at the YouTube shit, we'll just do something else, you know? So, yeah, here we are. We're still trucking. Hey, Joel, could you turn on the YouTube auto sub sometime? I'd like to hear your voice in different languages. Thanks. Yeah, auto sub. I wonder how that works. I don't even know. I mean, yeah, I wonder if that's something you turn on or how that all works. Apologize for screwing up the narration. Well, this is part of the process, brother. Thank you for being patient. Too much cheese. I was making it mindlessly and made too much. What do you have? Congrats for you, man. I'm glad to see it's really worked out for you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I believe you guys, whatever you set your mind to, just believe it's already happened and stick to your strengths and try to find your strengths. And, well, life is weird sometimes, and sometimes even like fantastical success. Really, at the end of the day, the only thing that truly matters is the relationships you have on Earth. I think. I assume so. Had no idea you were a nurse too. That's dope. I hope one day we can be peers. 3 years makes me feel better than I'm moving slow. Yeah, what's your channel about, Mr. McGrin? Is it on this channel? Oh, it is. 514 subs. Okay, so you do narration, 8 distressing neighborhood stories. Okay. Well, I do want to say that this whole what's it called, like subgenre as a whole, from my perspective, is not popping off as much as like true crime and like, you know what I mean, getting in front of the camera and talking about crazy shit like Wendigoon or What Lurks Below or obviously Mr. Ballin, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And I think it looks like you got a good face and a good all that stuff. So like, oh wait, there you did the Delphi murders, the complete evidence timeline. Okay, so that was about a month ago. Well, I will say, you definitely don't want to mix and match too much on like one particular channel. You know what I mean? Well, I guess you just started recently too. You never know. You really never know which thing is going to take off. Obviously, in conjunction with what you're doing here, I would probably stray away from the true scary story stuff because, I don't know, I just think that the true crime / like weird tales and stuff like that with editing is just like what people prefer to see. And you can also transition that over to podcast pretty easy, but basically just like making as many shorts as you possibly can make on YouTube Shorts, maybe on another channel, whatever, or obviously Instagram Reels, TikTok, all that kind of shit, and just try to cast as wide a net as possible in regards to getting short form content out there as well. Hey, Crunchy Skull, good to see you. I don't like the AI voice it used to read typical Spanish stories in English from another channel I listened to on there. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, maybe it would be beneficial just to reach a larger audience if I could, like, activate that or something, What game are you playing, Ryan? Dude, okay, can I just say something? I've been playing Ark Raiders lately still. And, like, I am not surprised that game is, like, dying, because there's, like, nothing to do. And I've been like looking, this was my experience earlier. I went out into one of the hurricane maps, right? I'm looking for a blueprint. I am literally looking for an Osprey blueprint. I would pay someone real life money to get an Osprey blueprint. Hey, Vitality, what's up? Playing some zombie game? Nice. And anyways, I'm out there looking for a blueprint. I'm bored. I see somebody running. They're wearing their shield in the hurricane, which you shouldn't do because it gives away your position. So I just take a shot at him. And immediately he's like, yeah, I hit him. And he's like, yo, just man, don't do it. And then, yeah. And then you have to, so I'm just like, what the heck is the point of the game? You're not supposed to shoot people. You're just supposed to run around and do nothing. And then gather trash. I don't know, because basically at this point, my only plan in that game tentatively is to get the Osprey blueprint, which is a sniper rifle, and then just grief people with it, because I don't know what else to do. There's literally nothing else to do, and then their timeline for like content is like, we've got a new robot. I'm a rat. Yeah, I'm a rat, but listen, dude, like the people that aren't rats, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing in that game, bro? There's nothing to do. All it is go gather trash in the third-person shooter game. Is that fun? Crimson Desert just came out. Yeah, I've heard mixed things on Crimson Desert. Like, some people say it's like freaking god tier awesome. Other people say the controls are so painfully bad that they don't even know how to play. You thought I was saying I did that IRL? Yeah, in real life I wander around and shoot people with a sniper rifle. Just kidding, FBI. Maybe if you could play dinosaurs on Ark Raiders. I mean, I just laid eggs as a raptor in the aisle and my mate left me. That does sound way better than whatever's going on in Ark. Hey, home main, what's up, dude? Time to play another game. Dude, you're 1,000,000% right. That's legitimately where I should go in life. I've been playing a little bit of other stuff. It's just tough. Like, I don't even know. Some games just draw you in, and you know what I think it is? I think there is something really, really, like, you know, some countries have banned loot boxes, but there is something about looting someone or a thing that, like, when you get something good, it's like kind of like it's like playing a slot machine. And I really think that if you want to have a successful video game, it's almost like you need to, like, figure out how to turn your game into a low-key whatever game it is mixed with a slot machine, and you'll just make everyone, like, wildly addicted. Good night, tiny human. Rest in sweet repose. Don't roll on your face or you'll squish your wee nose. Should play Helldivers too. Yeah, I do play Helldivers. It's kind of one of those games you play for a little bit and get back into. So not a bad idea to put shorts on my YouTube channel as well. I was told not to mix long form and short. I would suggest... It's a tough one. It's honestly a tough one on that, because I was told to, as well, to, like, do it on another channel, which is so stupid. I mean, YouTube has told me that, you know, the notifications for shorts isn't the same as your long form, so it shouldn't interfere. But it's so hard, man. It's so hard to tell. But I see Mr. Ballin, he puts all of his shorts on his, you know, normal YouTube, but I'm sure he puts a lot of them on other channels as well, just to get them out there. Did I just wake up? You sound like you're whispering. No, I'm sorry. I feel like because we're starting a little bit early, I don't want to be, like, too wild, too wet and wild and crazy. First live stream, let's go. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you, Lunchbox. Good to see you. I'm playing the new Resident Evil Requiem. Yeah, I've watched some people play it. It looks awesome. 5 a.m. here. What's the time there? Keeps you people saying it's early. Yeah, it's 8:30 p.m. So you must be quite a few hours in the future. Trying to think where that might be. Joel gone wild. There's girls and they've gone wild. And instead of facing up to that, I said something incredibly mean to him that I still apologize for to this day. I told him he could stop being such an embarrassing loser. Now, meanwhile, I developed a reputation at school for being a bully and someone to avoid, so Neil was my only friend, really, for years. And somehow, Neil managed to twist things so it looked like I was the ringleader and he was my sidekick, so any trouble we got into, it was usually me who took the brunt of it. I remember one time, Neil persuaded me to scratch up the paint on the car belonging to one of the most popular seniors in school. If this guy had caught me, I think he was one of the few people in the school who would actually outdo me in a fight, and he would have pummeled me into the ground. Thankfully, we got away with that one. And towards the end of junior year, who's here to avoid thinking? What are you thinking about? I like to think. You're the one creator that I'd not watch shorts of. I need the long version. I agree, yeah. Yeah, and, like, I remember I created, like, a short specific channel, and it just, like, none of them took off. Like, literally none of them, and I don't know. I feel like there's just not enough visual stuff to, like, really captivate people. Maybe I need to be, like, in front of it, because it really does seem like people just enjoy seeing a human's face in front of a green screen. Everything, nothing, life currently sucks donkey balls. Dang. You're living in a slums in India? What's going on? People have ADHD. It is sad, really, what short form has done to our brains, me included. I need a VTuber model. That's not a bad idea for short stuff, or just in general. That might be something worth investing into. I just don't know how to do it. I'm supposed to be 3D animating, but my brain is dead right now, so I'm not thinking. 3D animating, that's cool. What's that for? Is it school or something? Or do you have a job doing that? Towards the end of my junior year, Neil developed a crush. Did I say that right? Junior year. Towards the end of junior year, Neil developed a crush. The girl in question was an unassuming, bookish girl who was quiet and kept to herself. You know the type. Now, she was also the girl that I'd had a crush on for the last year as well, and I'm pretty sure that Neil knew this. Neil told me that he had a plan to ask her to date him. He just needed some time with her in the art classroom, and I had to stand guard to make sure nobody came along and unlocked the door. Now, I might have been a dumb kid, but I wasn't stupid. I knew that there was absolutely nothing good about what Neil might have planned, and so this one time, I said no. And Neil went nuts. Apparently there were a lot of things that he'd been holding back, things that he knew about my mom, and according to him anyway, how my stepdad had been abusing my sister. And then he had all this evidence on his phone of my involvement and all the bullying, cut and edited in a way that looked like I was the sole culprit. In particular, there was minutes of footage of me vandalizing the senior's car. Neil threatened to reveal this to them and to reveal to the whole school the kind of loose woman my mother was and how she was allegedly pimping out her own daughter. And at that moment, I saw red. By this point, a lot of my fat had turned into muscle and I had a huge growth spurt. Neil was still tiny. I picked my bully up by the waist. I slammed him down on a table into the empty classroom we were conspiring in. And the crack I heard was almost as terrifying as Neil's screams. I knew I'd done something really, really terrible, something even Neil didn't deserve. And when it all came out, I didn't protect Neil, but I didn't try to protect myself either. I deserved a lot of the blame and I wanted to take it. After this, being sent to a military academy was my own choice. I'd scared myself stupid with my own rage, and I'd hurt people and I'd gotten out of control. Neil's family wanted to press charges, and the military academy also served as a compromise. And this is also how I found out that the man my mother had left the family for was Neil's father. This whole time, my new stepdad was Neil's biological dad who walked out on Neil's family when Neil was just a baby. And I can only guess that the whole thing was intended as some sort of roundabout revenge against me in the end. Military school was the making of me, though. It took it. Justin is here. I don't see him. Someone grab him. Whose B-Day is it? You summoned Joel early for your happy birthday. Let's go. That did get kind of convoluted out of nowhere. You sleep during the day now? No, I switched my sleep schedule to my bedtime is now midnight, tentatively, so I can sleep from like midnight to like 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. or something like that, depending on if I can sleep. And hopefully that's... But I still do have that like waking up at freaking 3 hours after going to bed, and it's so annoying. The perfect thing to play in the background while driving. Hi Joel, hi everybody. Hello Crunch. Be safe driving. Never caught a live stream before. The best drive home after a 16-hour day of hell. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. It's time we have to conspire together to think of how to get you out of that situation. Where's Sam at? I don't know. I haven't seen her in a bit, I guess, with the weird schedule I got here too. I did swing shifts for far too long before semi-retirement fucked me up. Yeah, dude, it's tough, man. That's what I was when I was doing nursing, was like night shift nursing for literally ever. Military school was the making of me, really. And I took it like a duck to water. I graduated and then joined the military, where I'd stay there to this day. I hate the person I used to be, but I'm proud of the person I've become. And I heard that Neil took a very darker path and never tried to better himself. To a larger extent, I blame myself for this. I certainly see him as a victim in many circumstances. I try to make up for who I was every day, I serve our country, I donate to charity, I send money back to my dad to help my sister's care. Thankfully, Neil's claims of abuse towards my sister were just lies, aimed to disgrace his dad. Okay. Gonna be streaming earlier, yupper. Fun fact, sleeping 3 or 4 hours, then being awake for an hour, then sleeping another 3 or 4 is actually humans' natural sleep cycle. Oh. Okay, that's kind of like what I get into. I just always thought it was because, like, my liver was, like, releasing cortisol or something, and it was confused, or I don't even know. I just started a second job. Today's my first day off in 14 days and did 16-hour days. Thankfully, my schedule's back to normal this week. Damn, dude, that's rough. I'm sorry about that. Thankfully, Neil's claims of abuse towards my sister were lies aimed to disgrace his dad. Apparently, he's not even that bad of a guy. I don't want to know him, though. I just want to keep making amends for allowing one of the most effed up people I've ever known to dictate, dominate, and destroy my childhood. You may finish this story by hating me and thinking I'm a terrible person, and I wouldn't blame you, but I'm trying. I wish Neil had done the same, and from what I understand, he's done some pretty terrible things in the years since I've known him, and I can only hope that one day he takes his first steps onto the road to redemption that I'm attempting to walk myself. You can't take back the things you do, but you can try and make amends for them, even if it's too little and too late. How long did I do nursing? It was from like 2013 to 2019, so like 6 years, which is crazy to think it's been longer than that since I stopped. Holy fuck. Biphasic cycle is very common to most people. I wake up in the middle of the night too. Okay, just got here. What story is he telling? Subject. The subject is true scary childhood friends. So, that was story 1. I forget how many we got here. Do I ever miss it? No. I mean, I miss sometimes, I guess, the possibility of socializing on a consistent basis, maybe in that environment, but I'll be honest with you, like, some of the socializing that I attained early on in that immediately dissipated once I saw how incredibly, like, dramatic nurses can be in their little friends groups, like acting like high school girls. And it's something I don't, never really experienced that much in the sense of my previous friend groups. So I don't really give a shit. Lynn, welcome back for 43 months. Bro, I've been listening since 2017. We're almost at our 10 year. And how the time flies by. Cheers, you, Pradeep, and this great community started. Thank you, Lynn. That's insane. 10 years since 2017. That's wild. Sleeping a few hours and then waking up could be the cortisol, but yeah, before 9 to 5 working schedules, people would routinely get up for an hour or so in the middle of the night and then go back to bed. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that's the burning the midnight oil thing, right? Wonder what they would do. We got to brainstorm how to tell these stories with B-roll. I feel like it's easy with true crime. I guess we just talk to a camera. Yeah, I mean, you would just have to like generate like probably a bunch of like AI B-roll footage or something for yourself and have it running in the background. I mean, for a while there, if you're familiar with like Lighthouse Horror, he would do creepypastas with his face on camera. I don't think he does it anymore, but like I always thought that was a good idea. I'm like, all right, there you go, like narration with a face. And it probably takes a little bit more editing, but, people can connect with you. I have a pretty fucked up story involving some high school friends from my freshman year, exactly childhood friends. Interesting. If you have a hobby like crafting or drawing, maybe play that in the background. Yeah, that's true too. Sometimes that can help, even just to fill in some certain segments. I think it was like their own time to do little things about the house or things that they couldn't really do throughout the day. Oh, okay, that makes sense, yeah. I've been meaning to submit this story to you for a while now. I don't have many scary memories or stories, but there's one that always stuck with me ever since I was a little kid, which is when this happened. I can't remember what state we even lived in at the time, but I know we lived in a small town that felt kind of quaint and pleasant to me. I was probably 3 or 4 when this all happened, so obviously my memories are a bit hazy on the details, but the main plot of the story, I definitely remember it perfectly. I attended this kindergarten in town. It was a pretty small one with maybe 15 little kids, and it was basically what you'd expect. A corner for toys, crappy art on the walls, nap time, a little recess in the yard, and the absolute typical kindergarten. And it would have been completely normal except for the fact that from day one of me attending that school, there was this one strange kid. And we'll just call her Annabelle. She wouldn't join in with the class. She wouldn't read aloud or paint or come outside for recess. She wouldn't do anything except sit in the corner, which everyone referred to as Annabelle's corner. And she didn't just sit there either. Oh no. She sat there making little figurines of... figurines. How long has he started? We've been going for about 41 minutes. I think I'd have to type the story on the fly right now if you'd want to read it. Well, you can just tell us the synopses real quick. I might not be able to squeeze it into all the words that we have tonight. Still haven't gotten around to writing my own scary paranormal stories, but I feel like they're not necessarily scary enough to share. Jaja. I don't know why, I just love like Hispanic speaking, countries. Jaja. Jaja, 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 jaja. But no, send it in. Let's read submissions at gmail.com. Yeah. Jaja, jaja, jaja. You got something to do in the morning or what? I do, dude. I have a normal life to live. And I'm telling you, dude, when I was like on that normal or like the bad schedule, especially whenever after my one trainer that was training me like quit, and then I basically had like no reason, you know what I mean, to get going besides various things. It was very depressing. So I don't know. I think just having a normal sleep schedule, being around people, it decreases that like sense of depression or whatever. Joel, are you collaborating with anyone in terms of like video animation? I don't remember if you or someone is using your voice for the video. I mean, it would be sick to like, sometimes you look at those channels that do like, the animation channels. Sometimes I wish I could do that for my channel, like completely. I feel like that'd be like a huge jump. Like if I could actually have like really solid animations going with everything I narrate, plug it into something, or I don't even know, like that would be sick. He has some animated stuff, I'm not sure what happened to it. I have animated stuff, but it's not like I have any sort of workflow to like generate it. I never took anything down though, but it ends up on some other channels. Please don't go AI. Yeah, because I feel like that wouldn't be great unless it like looked absolutely perfect. And I just don't, I mean, I would pay an animator. I just don't think there's enough time, because like by the time I'm done recording these, right, when I wake up tomorrow, I got to edit it, and there's no time to like animate that kind of stuff. My Disney World bus driver almost crashed today. Fuck, dude. Right into the gator pit. The gist of it is 4 social pariah nerds mentally tortured me behind my back for about a year while pretending to be my friends. Real psychological brain fucking stuff, breaking into my house. Oh, Jesus. See, that's the worst. I mean, I feel so bad for the people who, like, I don't know, a group of people pretend to be, friends, and, like, that's psycho. It really is. But you have more than one fan that could submit something. I mean, what I'm saying is, like, to like animate all of the stories. I mean, I guess if it one story, but I don't even know if one story could be done, because that would keep people's attention, I think, visually. If the first story was animated, that actually could probably work, I think. You could try getting an animator in different time zone to work on it while you sleep. That's a brilliant idea, honestly. Like, I would just have to edit the first story and then send it to some Indian guy in Bangladesh. Oh, damn. Well, if you guys know anybody, it's funny you say that, because literally almost like every day in my email, in my like spam, I get like the most broken English email from somebody in India being like, and it just, the title always says the same shit, and it's always from someone different, and it says, I am 2D animator. And it's become like a meme in my like circle of friends, like, I am 2D animator. I am 2D animator! I'll be fine with watching a video twice if you put it out first without animation, then just put out the animation at a later time. Oh, that's a good point. Like, make compilations, but then turn them into animations after they're already out. Even as, like, bonus content, that would be pretty sick nasty. Sick freaking nasty, dude. She sat there making little figures out of Play-Doh and then smashing them with her little fist over and over. Or sometimes she'd pull the limbs off and then the head. Sometimes she'd lie them down and slowly roll the little plastic rolling pin over them. Either way, the end result was that she repeatedly made these Play-Doh people who came to a very sticky end. And from the day I arrived at the kindergarten, I started in the middle of the year because we just moved to the state, the teachers had already taken to ignoring Annabelle and just letting her do what she wanted. She wasn't causing any harm or hurting her. Okay. David, thank you for the 2. I'm into physical fitness, right? Yeah, I usually train like 4 days a week, mainly weightlifting and just like light cardio. Come here for your voice, not the animation, save your money. That's a good point too. If you were to actually get someone to animate stuff, would you prefer for it to be 2D or 3D? I mean, I guess it really wouldn't matter at the end of the day. It's just, once again, the question is related to like time. But you said you do 3D animation. You should email me like your portfolio or something like that. Thank you for doing so many videos. Falling asleep to them so much, mostly fine, but sometimes results in most insane dreams. That's awesome. Thank you. Are you gonna get a new trainer? Yeah, I connected with a new trainer. We're starting tomorrow, so I took a week off and just said, well, fuck it, we'll recalibrate, and we have recalibrated. Hey, Sarah K, how are you? Have you seen the Team Fortress 2 creepypasta animations? Imagine that with Joel. Oh, that would be good, like skibbity toilet bullshit. I guess those would probably be the easiest to do, like within the Valve software or whatever. Just hate the cartoony animation, but I'm not the majority. Yeah, the ones from like if you type in True Scary Stories animated, those ones I really don't like, because I'm pretty sure they just use like some shitty program, and I don't want to like put out shitty poop, you know what I'm saying? He does it all in Blender with Kling, Unreal Engine 5, manually composition AI to fill the animation frames. Interesting. You should look at the email Mona's talking about 100 out of 10 creation. 100 out of 10 creation? What are you talking about? Appreciate you always, my guy. Much love. Thank you, Lyric. Good to see you. Excuse me. She wasn't causing any harm or hurting anyone after all. Naturally, none of the other kids were friends with her. Maybe they tried back in the day, but as far as I knew, they all just ignored the creepy girl in the corner and her Play-Doh playtime. Now, I had a cousin with Down syndrome, and while I could see that Annabelle didn't have Downs, I got it into my head that she had some kind of condition, and it was my duty to befriend her and be nice to her. And so after a couple of weeks of attending the kindergarten and a few more days of building up the confidence, I approached Annabelle in her corner. I was ready for her to just hiss at me or act hostile or ignore me altogether. What I didn't expect was for her to greet me with this big smile, introducing herself and asking me to sit down and suggest that we become best friends. And yet, that's exactly what happened as a little kid. I remember being slightly taken aback, but hey, this was exactly what I'd wanted, right? So I introduced myself too and sat down, and almost immediately, as if she assumed it was what I wanted, Annabelle began showing me how to make those Play-Doh. Those Play-Doh dolls. Catherine, love you. Love you too. Good to see you. Finishing up my laundry, then I'm going to cook some dinner and watch some wrestling. Much love, everyone. Dude, that sounds fun. I haven't watched wrestling forever. Just make Let's Read animated, and then you do your backlog. You have so many stories. You know, that's not a bad idea. Because that's kind of what I do with the true crime edits. Joel's my go-to when the depression is screaming at me and the hubby needs to rest. Heck yeah. I got you, bro. Gotta hit the gym with me. Remember, all poo-poo times are pee-pee times, but not all pee-pee times are poo-poo times. Good point. Unless it comes out the hole, the mystery hole. Almost immediately, as if she assumed it's what I wanted, Annabelle began showing me how to make the Play-Doh figurines, and the various ways in which I could crush them. She didn't explain why we were doing any of this. It was like she figured that I already knew, but she had some particular God, I can't read. But she had some particular instructions on how to make what I assumed to be random humanoids. This one had to be short, this one had to have a big nose, and this one needed some big old ears. And it soon became clear that we were making figures of both children and adults, and I'd say that there were maybe an 80-20 split between kids and grown-ups. Now, I went along with this for days because I was just happy that I'd managed to become Annabelle's friend out of all the kids in class, and it took a while for me to ask why we were doing this and what all this Play-Doh violence was for. And the answer Annabelle gave was not something I'd ever heard of before. It was voodoo, she told me. A little kid was talking about voodoo. Now, I'd just like to add here that Annabelle was a white blonde kid, and as far as I know, she wasn't from anywhere that really practiced voodoo. Voodoo? I have no idea. Big old ears reminds me of the damn elementary school kids call me Dumbo because I had big ears. They also made fun of me for knowing a second language to the point I forgot how to speak it. Kids suck. Damn, dude, I'm sorry about that. What was your second language? Russian. Polish. Arabic. Her name was Annabelle. She did it. I don't know what she did, but she did it. She definitely did it. Hungarian. Oh, okay, cool. I had a friend who was a redhead. Turns out her mom and dad got too friendly. What? What are we talking about? Is it because they're redheaded? I'd just like to add here that Annabelle was a Caucasian blonde kid, and as far as I know, she wasn't from anywhere that really practiced voodoo or any sort of religion like that. And I am as convinced as I can possibly be that this wasn't some cultural thing and that she'd heard about the concept from one of her older brothers, of which she had 3, 2 of whom were into horror movies and all sorts of weird stuff like that. And I say this very non-judgmentally because obviously, as a Let's Read fan, I am too. And Annabelle explained what voodoo was to me, which I won't bother recounting because you all know what it is, but the key part here was that we were making these little effigies of our classmates and teachers, and one day, if we were lucky, the gods of voodoo would smile down on us and cause our actions against the dolls to be transferred to the person they represented. I asked Annabelle why we'd even want to do this. Why did we want to hurt our classmates and teachers? And she just looked at me like I was some idiot, actually rolling her eyes and said something like, "Because they're awful, you dummy." I didn't really agree, but the look on Annabelle's face made me feel like I really shouldn't voice that disagreement. Once she'd explained everything to me, I found out that one of the kids that we were regularly making dolls of was another girl. We'll just call her Kirsty. Alright, we're doing Kirsty, I guess. Sneaking the doo-doo to the voodoo convention. Did I say doo-doo? Wait, did I mess up and say doo-doo instead of voodoo? Those gods are the Loa? What's the voodoo gods? Okay. Hey, Hannah. What's up, dude? Oh, yeah, you said earlier you're putting your baby to bed. How'd that go? Wait, Hannah, did you say you're having a second one? I feel like you said that. Or maybe I'm having a premonition of a daughter. You're having a daughter. Definitely heard a doo-doo in there. Oh, fuck, dude. We're screwed. You know what? That's fine. They practice the religion of doo-doo. Yes, the second one is 10 months now, and she's a daughter. Huh. See, I don't know. Maybe it's the technology, the wired to my ears or something, and I can connect to you guys through the computer, but sometimes I can just see shit in my head. It's pretty cool. Once she explained everything to me, I found out that one of the kids were regularly making dolls of what was another girl, who we'll just call Kirsty. Kirsty was popular, kind of bratty, and I guess I can see why Annabelle disliked her, even though we were just little kids. And the more Annabelle opened up to me too, the more I became to understand her. It seemed like when she first joined kindergarten, the other kids had actually bullied her a bit. I only know this now as an adult, but there was this whole thing with Annabelle's family where they were regarded as pariahs in the town, unfairly for a reason I won't get into, and so the kindergarten teachers had never really bothered to put a stop to the torment. Instead, Annabelle had found out about voodoo one day, and that's what set her on this path. I was torn. I didn't agree that any of the people really deserved to be dismembered or smashed or squished by gods, but I felt sorry for Annabelle too, so I just kind of humored her. And then one day, I noticed Kirsty hadn't been in class for a couple of days, and then the teacher took us aside and told us the bad news, in as sensitive a way as you really could. Kirsty had something called leukemia, a rare kind, and it was very likely that she wouldn't be coming back to school, and we might not see her again. They didn't explain the concept of death to us exactly, and at least in the way that I remember it, that they didn't. Are my earlobes attached? No, I think I can hit them with my finger. Ching 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 ching. Do 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 do. Hey, Amy, thank you for the gifted membership to Saxia. Welcome, Saxia. Am I having kids? Yeah, hopefully. It's so crazy though, because it's like I hang out with friends that do have kids, and man, dude, it's genuinely very exhausting. It's genuinely like really, really fucking exhausting. Like the other day, what was it? Maybe it was Friday. I went with my buddy and his daughters to this arcade. And like the youngest one, man, like she just, I don't know what the fuck, dude, but she just like has no patience, like no ability to control her anger, no like, I don't know. It just like she just is wound up, bro. And like, I mean, she's very sweet. She can be like really, really sweet, or just like randomly psychotic out of nowhere. Like to the point, like when we were there, like because she was being really bad and I wouldn't give her the card to like, you know, swipe to fucking like play the arcade games or whatever. She like scratches me and fucking like bites my arm out of nowhere. And this is a fucking like 5-year-old too, right? Meanwhile, her like older sister is like an angel, doesn't do like anything bad ever. And like, but like the youngest one is like what, like just non-stop jealous of the oldest one, or they're both jealous of each other, and it creates this weird dynamic where they're so pissed at each other about the stupidest shit, and you just like can't stop them from being pissed at each other, and then it just like perpetuates on us. I don't know. But it was cute later because then like they came over today because my buddy had to get his car because he has to go get it inspected or whatever, but he was keeping it here. And like like the 5-year-old was like, can I talk to you, Joel? I want to tell you something. And then she's like, I'm so sorry for being mean to you. You know, it's like, it's okay, you're good, no worries. And then I don't know, it's like they can like warm your heart so much instantaneously, but then like fucking make you like literally be like, I don't know if I want to have kids kind of vibe, you know. It just like looks like pain, but at the same time I just feel like, oh, that's the strategy. Yeah, maybe she's just buttering me up so she can bite my face off later. Don't let them fool you. What if it is just like a masterful manipulation technique. I don't know, she does this one thing that kind of like weirds me out a little bit, and I wonder if like, I mean, she's totally smart, totally normal, but like sometimes she does this thing when she gets like angry, she's like gets really tight and like almost like grinds her teeth, and like her body like suddenly starts shaking, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And like it kind of frustrates me because sometimes my buddy just like doesn't do the fun, you know, he doesn't discipline, man, and you gotta discipline, otherwise, as they say, if you don't discipline them, the fucking world is gonna discipline them, and it's not gonna be pretty when the world does it, you know. Your brother's getting divorced and they have a 4-year-old daughter. He has full custody right now. It's kind of brutal. Don't normally share my family stuff, but talking about kids, I'm not saying don't just, yeah, that's sad. I mean, if he gets full custody, that's sad to think like what, I mean, the mom might have struggled with substances or something, because that's usually what I see. It's like got to be bad in the opposing direction for the courts to like not show beneficial treatment to the moms. She needs to watch Inside Out. Kids that age do not know what their feelings mean and how to deal with them. That's what I was thinking too. I actually thought that too, because unfortunately my friend is divorced as well, and I'm sure there's a lot of sensations and yeah, big feelings that she feels that like she just like can't articulate being so young and seeing her parents just like not be together anymore. The older one like even goes to a therapist, which is good. Like she can, talk about her stuff, and I think it's probably obviously very therapeutic for her. But I definitively think that the youngest one needs to probably go to that as well. Hey, see you, Megan. Take care. Yeah, email me your animation stuff, and I'd love to take a peek at it. I never once was mad at my parents whooping me as a kid. I always knew I effed up. That's funny. What is this, a therapy session or something? Yeah, this is it right here. We chit-chat about it all. I want an adult partnership. I'd rather have a childless marriage than be single mom. Yeah, for sure. Totally. Got to be careful with who you find, Make sure you're on the same page about everything. I feel like the older I'm getting, the more I want kids, honestly, but that's just like natural. Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. And I don't know. When I think about it, like, the direction of your life, well, I don't know. Sometimes like having a ton of freedom, but without that like purposeful direction that you get from the biological connection you have with your kids, I don't know. It can get very lonely. You know what I mean? Let's see what I can sense to working on the animations. Have a good night. Yeah, no worries. See ya. I'm the top uncle. I'll be damned if I have my own kids. That's fair. That's fair. They didn't explain the concept of death to us exactly, and at least in the way that I remember, if they'd handled it very well. What the fuck is this saying? They didn't explain the concept of death to us exactly, and at least in the way that I remember it, that they didn't handle it very well. But the short version is, they told us Kirsty was dying of leukemia. And to me, who didn't really understand how these things work, it felt like it had struck her out of nowhere. Obviously, you can see where my brain went as a kid. One of the gods of voodoo had smiled upon us and given Kirsty leukemia thanks to all the voodoo dolls that we kept making her out of that Play-Doh. And to me, Annabelle and I had effectively sentenced someone to death. And then the next week, my most disliked teacher, Mrs. Malley, slipped in the recess yard and broke her leg. We made voodoo dolls of her a lot too. I liked making those because they were big fat dolls and they were fun to smash and smush and squash, and I didn't like them anymore though. I mulled over everything in my head for a few days, and I was the kind of kid who built up internalized real easy. Maybe they mean trauma? I don't know. Let me see if I can find Lighthouse Horror's live stuff to do some research for, but I can catch you guys Wednesday. Good night. Hey, see ya, Mr. McGrin. Take care. What do I think of Sam Sulik at the Arnold? No, I'm happy for him, man. I'm glad I think he did well, right? And I'm happy he transitioned from just kind of being like a big, bulky, obviously jacked, guy on YouTube, which is a big success really at the end of the day, right? But turned it into the sport that he was associated with and done well within that sport. And I heard a lot of it came from just him doing his own training for the most part, which is even more impressive, right? The topic of this to me reads like tomorrow's childhood friends, and that is a horror story, yeah. When our life resets. I mulled over everything in my head for a few days. I was the kind of kid who built up internalized trauma real easy. I have no idea why. My parents weren't all that strict, and I'd never really been in trouble for anything. But I would feel sick with guilt for days or weeks over the dumbest thing. For example, thinking a swear word silently in my head. And eventually, I either move on from it or confess it to my mom, who would inevitably just tell me not to worry about it. Now this time though, I was certain that I was right to worry about it, and I didn't think it was my mom that I needed to confess to, but our main kindergarten teacher. And so one recess I went inside and told her everything, how me and Annabelle had making voodoo dolls and that we'd given Kirsty leukemia. And then we hadn't stopped there, and we'd broken Mrs. Malley's leg. Now here's where I think the teacher really messed up, whose name I genuinely forget despite how many years I'd spent angry at her. Now she must have been able to tell that I was sincere. She must have. I was crying and struggling to get the words out. I was clearly having a really hard time, but instead of gently explaining to me that this isn't how things work, that you can't create voodoo dolls out of Play-Doh and give classmates sicknesses, and that you can't make Miss Malley break her leg, this teacher screamed at me. She told me I was disrespecting Kirsty and Mrs. Malley, and that I was being a horrible little child, and she was seriously considering calling my parents in. I think the only reason she didn't was because she knew that she'd handled that badly, and she shouldn't have let her anger control how she reacted to me. Now, of course, this all made me feel really totally awful, so I vented to my only friend, Annabelle, and then as soon as I had, I realized I just admitted to Annabelle that I'd ratted her out as well. And so then I started apologizing deeply for that too. And Annabelle just sat there in silence for a while, like she was thinking really hard. I kept talking, suggesting that maybe we should just make a voodoo doll of the teacher because the gods would definitely smile on us this time. And eventually Annabelle just shook her head and asked me if I really was sorry that I tried to rat her out. Now, repeatedly, I insisted. I told her I'd do anything to prove it. And Annabelle just kind of smiled and she said she had an idea. We wouldn't make a voodoo doll of the teacher. Instead, there were other ways to do the voodoo god's bidding, and I could prove my support and love at the same time. Now the next day, she showed me the means of our revenge. It wasn't anything really complex, and it wasn't some elaborate voodoo ritual. Instead, Annabelle had a huge kitchen knife in her backpack, and she wanted me to take the knife, come into the classroom when the teacher was alone at recess, and stab her 16 times. This, apparently, would make amends both to the gods and to Annabelle. Now the story has probably illustrated that I was a pretty naive kid, and it probably makes it clear that I'm neurodivergent myself, but nothing, in no way, would have convinced me that taking Annabelle's huge knife and stabbing our teacher repeatedly was okay. And instead, it made me realize that Annabelle was some bloodthirsty psychopath who had a capacity for violence as a freaking kindergartner. Now I know this because when I refused and told her there was no way that I was going to stab the teacher, Annabelle pulled a pair of small sewing scissors out of her backpack and stabbed me in the leg with them. It wasn't a little poke either. It was a deep, rough stab that caused blood to start gushing from my thigh. Obviously, I began to scream, and then so did a bunch of other kids when they saw the bleeding. As soon as it clicked in her brain what she'd done, I think Annabelle just gave up. She pulled the kitchen knife from her backpack and lunged at me. However, thankfully, she was some little girl, and our teacher was not, and she was able to grab Mama Bear Storm, welcome to the Buttersuck Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Have a good night, Buttersuck Cult members. Chin scratches for Pradeep, you betcha. Thank you, Mama Bear. She really did premeditate that as a little tyke. I posted a picture of Pradeep on my Instagram story. You guys asked for that for the live streams. Boner content. Can they arrest a kid? I think so. I think they can put a kid on death row if they really need to. In front of the firing squad. However, thankfully she was a 4-year-old girl and our teacher was not. And she was... I feel like I gotta say that different. However, thankfully she was a... However, thankfully she was just some little girl and our teacher was not. And she was able to grab Annabelle from behind and very easily pull the knife away from her. I had to go straight to the hospital, so I didn't get to see the aftermath. My parents shielded me from most of it too, but what I do know is that Annabelle had to spend some time in an institution and even receive some serious therapy. There are things my parents still won't tell me about the aftermath, even though I'm in my first year of college at this point, so I can only assume that something pretty bad or tragic or both ended up happening with Annabelle. We moved away to a totally different state right after this, and of course it's not like you could just Google for news stories about a mentally ill little kid. Now, really all I know is that for a couple of months my best friend at kindergarten was a potential killer who believed that she could do magic, and also that I was extremely lucky not to get killed. And that's the part that I don't like to think about. Whenever I tell this story, I try to play it off like I was some badass hero dodging knife swings and surviving some murderer. And it's the only way that I can really stay sane. I know that if I start thinking about it too hard, I'll just dwell on what could have happened, and I refuse to do that. And so this is my story. It could have been a lot worse, but the fact that it wasn't and the fact that I'm still here to tell the story is something I'm going to focus on above anything else. Hey, Queef Sweat, thank you for the 5. So, sup, Joel and beautiful yos. Should I do a shot, drink a beer, smoke a J, or all of the above? Well, don't do any alcohol. I feel like the least harm you could do to your body is probably a little bit of marijuana. Fun fact, if anybody's seen Haunting in Connecticut, the house is literally less than 10 minutes up the road from me, nearly a straight shot. Interesting. And do you see anything weird up there? I have a super old drawing of Pradeep I did as a teenager somewhere in your sketchbook. That's awesome. You have to tag me in it. I hate the movie. First ever horror movie. I was 14. What was it again? The Haunting in Connecticut. Interesting. I don't remember that one. Hi-yo. That's sad. The only bad thing about doing the stream late is that, or early, is that you don't really get that same number of audience, you know? I will look for it soon. I just opened my book boxes after like 3 years of moving. Nice. That's crazy that Matt Rife owns the Annabelle Museum. That is kind of weird. I didn't even know he was into that. Wart. And Sarah, thank you for the 2, says, my cat is near her end, been a long 2 weeks. Leia. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Poor thing. I know people like to fall asleep to your videos, but I have a story that sometimes... God. I know people like to fall asleep to your videos, but I have a story that sometimes still gives me nightmares to this day. I don't know why it creeped me out so much that as an adult I still sometimes... I don't know why it creeped me out so much that as an... Why the fuck is... What is this? English? I don't know why it creeped me out so much that... Okay, that's... Maybe the comma should go before the that? I don't know. I don't know why it creeped me out so much that, as an adult, I still sometimes have My god, my brain is like farting right now. I don't know why it creeped me out so much that, as an adult, I still sometimes have night terrors and sleep paralysis that revolve around it, but hey, I guess it takes all sorts to scare us. Now, this story wasn't a serial killer or a gunman or a home invader or anything like that. The scary thing here was a little girl I grew up with. Her name was Bethany, and we grew up together, and we were supposedly best friends. At least, that's our... Okay. At least, that's what our respective parents insisted anyway. Now, this is going to make me sound like an idiot, but the truth is that I was Bethany's best friend, but she wasn't mine. Now, before you write me off, though, stick with me. I was Bethany's best friend because even from an early age, she didn't have any other friends. The reason for this is because she weirded all the other kids out. None of the other kids in the neighborhood, girls or boys, would play with her. She scared them with her odd behavior and the strange things that she would say about ghosts and witches and all tons of nonsense. Mostly, though, she had this habit of hiding in places and then jumping out and yelling at you to scare you. Other little kids don't really like that, and since Bethany made, quote, freaking our friends out her entire personality, they didn't really like Bethany either. Unfortunately, Bethany's parents and my parents were best friends. They made a group since college, and they stayed very, very close ever since, and they both had their first kids, me and Bethany, in the same year. We were born just about 1 month apart, and so our parents decided that we were destined to be best buddies, just like they were, and ever since we were tiny little babies, we were forced into being a pair. Now, Bethany took this rule of friendship very seriously, and that meant that she stuck to my side like glue, and as a little kid, I had no hope of having any other real friendships when Bethany was always there, creeping everyone else out and behaving like a total weirdo. She was also insanely protective and jealous of me, so any chance that I might have had of establishing... God damn it. Mixing words together, man. What's up, Lucy? Night terrors is the screaming while asleep, nightmares is the bad dreams. What about sleep paralysis? Hey, Nene, what's up? Yeah, we're in this. I had a childhood crush named Bethany when I was but a young lad. We all remember them. Been a fan for years. I've gotten through many late night shifts because of you. Thanks. You're welcome, friend. Good to see you. How am I? I'm good, honestly. I'm cruising and schmoozing. She was also insanely protective and jealous of me, so any chance I might have had at establishing other friendships basically went out the window. Bethany just seemed to have no shame and no sense of decorum or restraint. She'd pull weird faces at other kids. She had no hesitation about breaking wind or burping in front of any... Oh my God. Got pee and sleep. Might be at the same time. Everyone like, hey, bye, Hannah. Good to see ya. Good luck with everything. And have a good week. Hello, just joining here on a boring Sunday. And I always say Sunday, no fun day. That's true. Sundays are to relax, you know? Bethany just seemed to have no shame and no sense of decorum or restraint. She'd pull weird faces at other kids, and she had no hesitation about breaking wind or burping in front of anyone. She'd say extremely hurtful things to other kids, calling larger kids fatty and that kind of thing. And as we moved through elementary school, her vocabulary developed into calling people various slurs, usually things that just made no sense and didn't even apply to them. And the fact that I was associated with her as her best friend, it was an embarrassment and absolutely destructive thing to any social life that I might have had. If I even tried to bring up the topic with my parents, they acted like I was being so mean because Bethany was a little angel, and they just wouldn't see the fact that she was some creepy weirdo. The one strange exception to Bethany's behavior was church. Both of our families were Christians and we attended the same church. And in church, Bethany was like a totally different person. It was as if she was God It was as if God genuinely... Oh. Hey, Selena Lakey, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you, thank you. Got at the gym, mama making tacos, life is good. Hell yes. I just had a monster fries, carne asada sonata, and a shrimp con guacamole and cheese. That sounds so beautiful, dude. Oh, Doyle rules. Seeing a Billy Madison reference, man, it's been forever. It was as if God genuinely calmed her and soothed some kind of devil in her. Thankfully, the kids at Sunday school mostly weren't the same kids from our neighborhood or our elementary schools, so we did actually have some other friends there. It was so strange. And to this day, I have no idea if Bethany was putting on some act in church or she really did just feel compelled to be her best self. Church isn't important. Oh my gosh. Church is important to the story too because it introduces the other main characters here. Marie, our babysitter from when we were really little. Our parents would frequently go out for meals or to visit the theater on Friday or... Our parents would frequently go out for meals or go to see the movies on Friday or Saturday nights, and Marie was their choice of babysitter from the get-go. I think she first started babysitting us when she was 14 and we were 5 or 6, old enough for our parents to feel comfortable leaving us with someone else. When everything ended, we were 12, so I guess Marie was 20, although she'd never gone off to college or anything like that. Marie would also babysit us at Bethany's house. There were various reasons for this, but mostly, Bethany had difficulty falling asleep anywhere but her own bed, and our parents would often be out long after it was time for us to go to bed. Bethany had this game where she tried to act as creepy as possible whenever Marie babysat us, but without Marie ever finding out. Somehow she managed this for 6 years. I don't know if Marie was just completely oblivious and unobservant, or if Bethany was incredibly clever and manipulative. Bethany had 3 different games that she played around Marie. One was the creepy sound game. Bethany would hide somewhere in the house and make a loud clicking sound with her throat, kind of like that ghost from The Grudge, and then if Marie heard, she'd convince her that she had no idea what was actually making the sound. And I even heard Marie talking about it to Bethany's parents once, asking her if... God damn it. Sounded like Montoya from The Princess Bride, the whole carnero asada. Delicious. Delicioso. Sunday evenings give me anxiety. I could only sleep 5 hours as a kid, so the morning wake-ups felt like getting up in the middle of the night. Oh, that sucks, yeah. I remember that feeling too, worrying about school and just all that crap and like not wanting to go back. I remember the sound of like dun 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 dun, you know, like just the sound of like NFL games on like Fox and shit like that would fill me with a sense that everything's gonna suck tomorrow. Everything fucking sucks lately. I even heard Marie talking about it to Bethany's parents once, asking if they'd ever heard this strange noise. They hadn't, of course, because Bethany behaved like an angel around adults. And the second game was trying to make me jump and scream, and if she succeeded, I had to tell Marie that I'd seen a spider or a mouse because just like any other time I tried to push back against Bethany, she threatened to make my life a living hell. I did not want to find out what kind of horror Bethany would plan for me if she ever decided that I wasn't her best friend, so I just went along with everything that she threw at me. Finally, the third game was called Goblin. Bethany had this thing where she'd pretend to be a goblin, but it was honestly uncanny. She managed to sort of scuttle along the ground on all fours, pulling this genuinely horrifying face, and she'd hide under beds or perch on cabinets or wardrobes and act as this demonic thing as she... To see Princess Bride centric short earlier was clever. I did see Princess Bride on TV as well the other day. I forget where it was. But I swear I just saw that recently. Or maybe it wasn't Princess Bride. Maybe it was Men in Tights. Sorry, it was Men in Tights. Never mind. Cancel that. She'd hide under beds or climb up on cabinets or wardrobes and act as demonic as she possibly could. And you know how people use that phrase, goblin mode? I'm convinced it was invented by someone who knew Bethany. And the way she turned this into a game was going goblin mode for as long as she could without Marie or other adults ever catching her. And one time I remember her crouching in the corner of the living room, pulling her goblin face while Marie watched television, and she managed this for the entire... One time, I remember her crouching in the corner of the living room, putting on this goblin face while Marie watched television, and she managed this for an entire hour before getting bored and making... Oh my god, I don't know what it is, dude, but I've lost my, flow here tonight. I was, in such a solid state earlier. I gotta go goblin mode. Demon time. I tried to laugh at Men in Tights many times. Maybe one day I will like that movie more. That's fair. I don't even know. I don't recall, really... I feel like liking it when I was younger, but I don't really recall, losing my shit over anything. My brain is fat. Yeah, my brain needs to lose some weight. Channel my inner solid snake. I don't know. My sleep... even though I've been trying to sleep during the day, it does feel really weird, I'm kind of exhausted, if that makes sense. Because to switch my sleep schedule at that midnight, I took a little bit of Benadryl and some melatonin. And honestly, it's a really weird type of sleep where sometimes you sleep, but you're almost in standby mode, like a computer, where you just close your laptop screen and then at any moment you could turn it back on, but you're not really sleeping. You're not turned off. You're just you're not dreaming. I don't know. It's really strange. I don't have a sleep schedule now. I just nap for 3 hours at any point. Yeah, I don't think I could do that because it would just mess me up too much, and I wouldn't. I like the feeling of consistency, you know what I mean? One time, I remember her crouching in the corner of the living room, putting her goblin face on while Marie watched television, and she managed this for an entire hour before getting bored and making me play some board game with her. As we grew up and moved from elementary school to middle school, I really thought, or at least hoped and prayed, that Bethany would grow out of the weird, creepy phases. Instead, they just got worse. Middle school presented her with a whole new group of kids to alienate and freak out. And thankfully, middle school allowed me to make a few other friends and vent to them about how much Bethany drove me crazy and how embarrassing I found her. It wasn't much, but word did start getting around that I was more than Bethany's sidekick and didn't actually approve of our I'm just gonna put it into grammar fixer upper. Oh my god, how long does this go on? What is this? Dude, I don't even know what's going on. Why is it? Oh, okay. It turns, you put too much text in there, it puts it into a file. You said you're trying to sleep during the day. Yes, sir. No, I'm not trying to sleep during the day. I'm trying to sleep at night. Life was not good because I was sleeping during the day. Sorry. Okay. Thankfully, middle school allowed me to make a few other friends and vent to them about how much Bethany drove me crazy and how embarrassing I found her. It wasn't much, but word did start getting around that I was more than Bethany's sidekick and didn't actually approve of or endorse her rude, vulgar, and insulting behavior. And this was especially relieving as she was going through her constantly saying slurs era, usually based on nothing and totally unrelated to the person that she was hurling that slur at. Now, I can't give examples without getting this video demonetized, obviously, but for example, imagine a slur aimed at a homosexual man being used against... I can't give examples without getting this video demonetized, obviously, but for example, imagine a slur aimed at a homosexual man being used against an 11-year-old girl, or a little white boy being called, well, you can imagine the kind of things. Now, once again, she just wanted to be as weird and off-putting as possible, and I was starting to get really sick of it. Our parents showed no signs of drifting apart, which meant that Bethany and I were being forced to spend almost every weekend together. Nearly every Friday, they would go out to dinner with a group from church and wouldn't return home until it was well past midnight, so I would have sleepovers at Bethany's house almost every single Friday, and it was hell. Now, I wanted to start hanging out with my other friends and living a life of my own. I could tell something had changed with Bethany on the Friday that this all kicked off, but I couldn't put my finger on it exactly. She was sort of aloof with me, acting as if she didn't care that I was there. Normally, she'd behave like a hyperactive child whenever we had a sleepover. Our parents had been gone for a few hours and Marie was downstairs doing some kind of homework, so I guess she must have been attending some kind of school thinking about it. And maybe she was doing college remotely, I have no idea. Now anyways, Bethany had told me that she wanted some alone time and left me in the living room watching television. But eventually she told me to come upstairs to... God, I'm like struggling to fucking just flow, dude. That was better though. Stream is early tea time. What's up, bro? How we doing? Just using slurs at random people that don't apply. Kind of disrespect. I don't know. I feel like it's... I mean, being that young seems really, really weird. Even knowing the slurs. It's a bit strange. Where'd she get them from? Is she on Instagram Reels or something? Using random non-applicant. It's all we do. It's all we do around here, honestly. Now anyway, Bethany had told me she wanted some alone time and left me in the living room watching TV, but eventually she told me to come upstairs to play Scrabble. Bethany loved Scrabble because she'd make up words and insist that they were real, so she always won. Now she also enjoyed putting rude words down on the board. When I went upstairs, the Scrabble game wasn't set up, and instead, Bethany was sitting at her desk, fingers poised like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. And she stared at me for what felt like minutes and then finally spoke and told me that she'd heard from a little birdie that I'd been saying mean things about her at school behind her back. Now at first, I had no idea what she was talking about, but then I realized. I had disavowed her behavior and bitched about her to other kids. And while I don't think anyone ratted me out to Bethany, I think she overheard some kids defending me or saying that I wasn't as bad as my weird friend or something like that. Bethany said that she knew that I'd been calling her a weirdo and telling other kids that I didn't like her, so there was no point in denying it. And if I tried, then she'd make things worse. Worse? What does that even mean? Worse. Hey, Ghana Bear, how you doing? Or Ghana. Maybe Ghana Bear. I'm not sure how to say it. What's up, Alyssa? Bethany said that she knew that I'd been calling her a weirdo and telling other kids that I didn't like her, so there was no point in denying it, and if I tried, then she'd make things worse. And then her face split into this really creepy grin, and she told me that it didn't matter. We were still best friends, and if I promised to stay loyal to her from then on, she'd forgive me. Of course, Being terrified of her and lacking much of a backbone, I begged her forgiveness and promised that I'd stay best friends with her. And for the rest of the night, Bethany constantly played 2 of her favorite games. She'd disappear off and make the weird grudge sound which Marie had started ignoring years ago, and then she would constantly jump out at me from places to scare me. This time, though, the game changed. I wasn't allowed to scream or let Marie know that I was scared. This was now suddenly part of the terms of her forgiving me for insulting her. I think I'd pulled it off really well. If I hadn't stressed it enough, Bethany could be incredibly creepy, and she managed to squeeze into the most impossible hiding spots and jump out from the craziest areas. I think I must have stifled well over 20 screams that night, determined not to invoke whatever hypothetical anger she threatened me with. No, I was just grateful that she didn't decide to combine it all with her goblin impression. I'm not sure that I could have handled seeing Bethany scooting across the floor out of nowhere that night. I was already jumpy enough as it was. Now, eventually, it was our bedtime, so we headed to our respective bedrooms. And that was one of the things that I did like about sleepovers at Bethany's. They had a guest room, and when I slept over, I was able to use it. Our parents didn't like the idea of us keeping each other up by talking all night, and was a rule that I was more than happy to follow now. And I guess the bedroom also had a lock, and due to Bethany's love for scaring me, I'd always locked it before I went to sleep ever since I was young. It had given me a deep degree of safety, and I found out that night it was completely misplaced. Wait, what? Excuse me. Fuck. Parents, that defeats the point of the sleepover. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you sleep over enough, eventually they're like, well, you gotta be up at this time for Saturdays or Sunday, whatever. Hi, Joe. First time listening live. Hey, I am DDB. What's up, dude? What have you been up to? And there's let me sit on it, please. It's a good name. Unique names. Okay, sorry, I sneezed and now I'm snotty. Here we go. Oh, dude, really funny thing. Was getting Indian food with my buddy earlier, and he got like the spiciest shit ever that they serve there. And then randomly I look over because his one daughter was like, ew, what the hell? And like, not even joking, he just like, his entire like left side of his nose had like a big streak of boogers like coming down. Almost like when you blow your nose, you got facial hair so it gets caught in there. But like, it just like naturally like all pooled. I don't know, something about it was hilarious. Just him being covered, looking like he was so sweaty, and he was just like absolutely covered in snot. It was a perfect decongestant, yeah. Nuclear Vindaloo? It might, yeah, Vindaloo. That's what it was. It was Vindaloo. Because I remember him asking me, like, have you getting the Vindaloo? And I'm like, what is Vindaloo? Indian food is really good. But I was thinking also, I'm just like, how the fuck could you live in India where it's like hot as shit all the time and you're just eating like the absolute spiciest food possible? I was just imagining you're like already sweating from like 110 heat with like humidity, and you're like, you know what we really could use right now? Some fucking pepper spray in my mouth. Not better than American barbecue. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the food that they had down in South Carolina, which was like a barbecue place, it's very, very, very hard to top. I'm not even joking. If you ever go down to South Carolina, there's a place called in Clemson where the football team is, called the Smoked Pig, I think. It's so good. It's just like this little college town, really nothing going on other than football. All people do is just go out to eat and watch football and talk about football and eat fucking the most delicious barbecue you could ever have. What's up, Be Wild? It was almost 90 all weekend. Having a yard sale today was 85 and just a barley spring. Damn, dude. Oh yeah, you had that concert more recently, like last weekend or something. It had given me a degree of safety, but I found out that night it was completely misplaced. Bethany had always had a key to my room, I suppose, and simply waited for the right time to use it. I had no idea what had woken me up. I blinked in the darkness, trying my best to let my eyes adjust, and then I heard it again. Bethany's stupid, croaking ghost noise. And that's when I realized where she was. She was standing on the wooden footboard of the bed, balancing there in some bizarre crouch. Her face was full goblin mode, and she'd done something to her hair to make it stick up everywhere. I reached out and turned on the lamp and saw the full creepy weirdness of Bethany's goblin mode. She was dressed only in her underwear, and she'd written all sorts of strange words and seemingly symbols all over her body in what looked like lipstick. Jesus Christ. Lipstick. That'd be funny if you had like lipstick that you put on but it made you sick. Thanks for making stuff all these years. You're welcome, perverse steak. You got it, dude. When did you start your new sleep schedule? It's like two nights ago. And it seems to be going pretty good so far. I'm like getting it's broken sleep, but I am getting sleep. But I do also feel really, really exhausted. I know it's going to take some time. Like if I can get like 2 weeks into this, and it will happen, and not go back to the old ways, I will be free of my sleep prison. Have you heard of a place in France where they wear no pants? Oh, no. Where's that at? That sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. Is this like a book reading club? If it is cool? Yeah, pretty much. I'm just recording stories for tomorrow's video. The channel revolves around reading spooky stories, and I'm just recording the video. And chitting and chatting with chat. You're buffering? Damn. She was dressed only in her underwear, and she'd written all sorts of strange words and symbols all over her body in what looked like lipstick. When she smiled, I saw that her teeth was also covered in lipstick too. And then she spoke in this weird goblin voice, and I'll never forget what she said. Do you think I'm weird enough now? And with that, she leaped off the foot of the bed and landed on me. And then she began smearing something on my face, which I later found out was the same lipstick that she'd used to write on herself. And at the same time, she kept spitting on me, saying she wanted to make me weird like her. I managed to scream, but I think Marie must have heard the commotion already, as she came bursting into the room, and then I heard her screaming. My first thought was that my savior had shown up to finally protect me from Bethany's insanity, but I could never have predicted how Marie. Joel, I might sue my dental school. I dedicate it to you, then screw things up and try to cover it up shameful. Your dental school? Like where you're going to... What happened? What's up, Void? Love you too. Good to see you. You guys are too nice. Bethany has too much on her hands. Yeah. Sitting in a... Yeah, I don't know. Some people are just fucking weird. Some people are just born that way. Going goblin mode. My first thought was that my savior had shown up to finally protect me from Bethany's insanity, but I could never have predicted how Marie would interpret the situation. At first, all she did was scream at us to break it up, and then she made Bethany put on a robe, march us both downstairs, and had us sit on opposite chairs in the living room until all 4 of our parents returned home. When Marie told them what had supposedly happened, I couldn't believe my ears. According to her, she'd caught us engaging in some kind of carnal act, that she could no longer be around 2 girls who would behave like that. And the worst part is, Bethany claimed that this was also true, that we'd been drawn to each other and needed Jesus. As my parents took me home that night in shame, I begged and pleaded with them to believe me that this wasn't what happened. I was way too young to even be thinking about anything like that, let alone with Bethany. And they said nothing as I talked over and over about how Bethany had always tried creeping me out ever since we were little kids, how the other neighborhood kids couldn't stand her, and how she alienated and ostracized everyone at school, how she would say terrible words and acted disrespectfully. I told them that, and I thought Bethany needed help, serious help. And eventually, thank God, they believed me. And yet somehow they didn't make any things... Whoops. We need Jesus. I was thinking Bethany's crash out was valid. Being bullied is not cool. Wait, was she bullied or did she bully others? I forget. Maybe sometimes it's symbiotic. What's the name of the book I'm reading from, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, it's... Sorry, so on the channel, people submit scary stories to the channel. So if you have a scary story you want to submit, it's letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com. And you might even hear it in the next video. But if you want to check out more like what the channel's about, the videos on the channel, got a lot of those you can dig through. Probably thousands of videos now. I've been doing it so long. Left bone shards in my gums are extracting wisdom teeth and waiting to remove it, and then screwing up my gum margins grumble. Damn, sorry to hear that. It was really funny. At dinner, my buddy's like youngest daughter, the one that was I told you about earlier, is a little wild. She was like lifting her lip up with her one finger, so just like really funny face, but then taking her other finger and just like touching her gums, and she's like, what's this part called? What's this part called above your teeth? What's this part? And I'm like, it's called the gums. And she's like, I feels really good when I touch my gums. And I'm like, that's awesome. It's the greatest thing I heard all day. Oh, you submitted a story last week. Thank you, Holly. You inspired me to start my own scary story narration channel. It's really tough, but hoping to be as big as you one day. Yeah, no worries. And like I said, like if you know, it might not be scary stories that's the, successful channel. You might have to start another channel that's true crime, or putting yourself on camera talking about weird stories, or just scary video countdowns, you know what I mean? All sorts of things you could do within the realm of horror, but sometimes it just takes a lot of like hit or miss, figuring it out. YouTube striking all the scary channels now. I heard that, it was like marking people as like AI, which is really weird. I remember that. Did you guys hear about I didn't even know about this really much, but did I talk about last time the Miami Mall alien incident? I don't know when this happened, but we're gonna talk about it real quick because I thought it was so freaking weird. Smashed my front teeth in a half pipe, submitted my video to Scars, but I didn't get on the show. Oh my god, I'm sorry about that. That sounds terrible. Oh, it happened like 2 years ago. The Miami Mall incident usually refers to a viral event on January 1st, 2024 at Bayside Marketplace in Miami, Florida. A large group of teenagers, reportedly 50 to 100, gathered at Bayside Marketplace. Some individuals were involved in fights, setting off fireworks, generally disorderly behavior. But it was weird because like people were saying that that's what it was reported happened. But other people were saying what really happened was everyone was freaking out because they saw a 10-foot shadow creatures, like 10-foot shadow aliens, where they like sort of existed in 3D space, but like were like ghosts. And these creatures caused people to run. Police presence was to cover up something non-human. Helicopters and blackout rumors added fuel. Like there was like hundreds of cop cars at this event, or at this thing. And then there was apparently like a social media blackout as well, where there wasn't any footage of what was going on in the thing, and I don't know, portals opening and shit, just like crazy shit, mass hysteria type stuff. But there will be blood. That makes you my competitor. That makes you my competitor. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. We need Daniel Day-Lewis back in Hollywood, man. What even is Hollywood? There were hundreds of cops, and they just covered it all up. I originally like 4 kids, and then somehow summoned a creature with some altered VHS or something. Is that what it was? An altered VHS? Can you imagine being those kids? You just like try to do some creepy pasta, and you're like, oh my god, it's fucking working. Hey Joel, question, are we friends, like online homies? Just asking. I mean, yeah, everybody in here is my homie, you know? Like when you guys come in and I get to know you over the live stream and stuff, it's fun, you know? Like obviously we don't all know each other in real life or anything like that, but we are as parasocial as possible. Hey Eugenia, see? There's Eugenia. Joel, I'm neglecting my kids, no mom duties, to be floating in a pool listening to you. Sounds good, let them fight it out. Make sure you make us look forward to Sunday nights. Yeah, no, I look forward to hanging out with you guys. I don't think I would want to like record these stories by myself. I'd get freaking bored. I'm a Joel-me. Joel-me. What's up, Dan? Parasocially horrific. Eventually, thank God, they believed me. And yet somehow, this didn't make things any better. You see, her parents believed me too, but the help they decided that she needed was some kind of send-away camp for You see, her parents believed me too, but the help they decided that she needed was some kind of camp for wayward teens rather than the therapy and support that I'd had in mind. And so Bethany was shipped off to what I later found out was a particularly notorious wilderness survival camp designed to scare kids straight into good behavior. And they kept Bethany there for over a year. And then when she came home, she didn't want to see anyone. She was homeschooled. She wanted to avoid me and everyone else. Our parents had remained friends during the whole ordeal of Bethany being at the camp, but as soon as she returned, they kind of just stopped spending time together. And the whole thing conflicts me so much. Bethany terrified me and emotionally hurt and scared a lot of people, but I never wanted her to have her entire personality stripped out of her or be forced to become the shell of herself that camp seemed to have turned her into. Eventually, I heard from my parents that Bethany had decided to dedicate her whole life to Jesus and after graduation was set to become a nun. And as far as I know, that's exactly what ended up happening. She has no social media presence, and it's not like she had any other friends that could ask. We lost touch with her parents years ago, and now she's a very strange, eerie footnote in my life. But like I said, sometimes I have these nightmares where she crawls after me on all fours, going full goblin mode, furious at me for the path that I set her on. And sometimes I wake up with sleep paralysis, and I see Bethany standing there on the foot of my bed, just like she was on that final night. Only now she isn't just contorting her face to look like a goblin. In these sleep paralysis fits, she looks fully demonic, and whenever I finally break out of them and the specter of Bethany seems to disappear, I find myself wondering, did I possibly make things better for my weird best friend, or did I simply make them much, much worse? Joe, can I please have the background music title? Yeah, what is it? Let me see here. Let me snee. Properties? No. I gotta find it. Oh, here it is. This one's called Glacial. It's by, Simon, aka Inekt, I-N-E-K-T. He remasters the podcast and makes a bunch of cool music for it too, and does a bunch of other stuff, pretty much runs the podcast side of things. But he runs a YouTube channel called Inekt, I-N-E-K-T, where he does dark ambient style stuff. If you want to look up Glacial over on his YouTube channel, you should be able to find it. Anyone who was here like 2 hours ago remembers when he said doo-doo and tried to trick us. I don't know, hopefully people get it. That would kind of suck if I said doo-doo instead of voodoo. Who here believes in actual Wendigo? I've heard a lot of folklore and people who believe in them. Just curious. Some people in here are from reses, like reservations and stuff, so you may find someone who's experienced the Wendigo. Mercenary, they are real? You think so? What are they again? Aren't they at Wendigo like medicine men? Shapeshifters of sorts? Or is it a beast? Alright, it's fixing the grammar as we go. Wendigo are spirits. Skinwalkers are evil witches. Oh, okay. Interesting. What in tarnation? Hey, Justin, what's up, buddy? Now we're getting the regulars pouring in. They were nowhere to be found earlier when I started bright and early. You can hear them deep in the woods late at night. I have no desire to hear the sound ever again, ever. Interesting. What the hell? What the freaking heck? What's up, Lucas? Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Chickadee, check yourself. Why are you so poop crazy early? Because I've fixed my sleep schedule. So if I want to get to bed by midnight, I gotta get started a wee bit earlier. Divine Jupiter, thank you for the 2. Skinwalkers are shapeshifters. Wendigos are cannibals. So we seem that we have a few different definitions, it seems. Well, I'm gonna have to figure this out, guys. We should ask that as a poll question. Joel's poll. Do you believe in Wendigos? The big scary monsters. Wendigos. Yes. No. Start the poll. Start the poll! And Void Jenna, welcome to the Buttersaw Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you. Also, yeah, there's a bonus content playlist if you guys want to check that out. I was a regular. I used to be in the first live streams in 2020, but I left when the original mods, back when they were random timing out people for whole streams. Jeez. Back when we had literal Nazis running the show. Wonder if the voodoo doll could make you take a giant dump, a doo-doo. Any NBC Hannibal fans in the chat? Wait. Oh, Hannibal. I was like, the comedian? The one with the dry sense of humor? What's up, Chris? When I was growing up during high school, we had a quiet kid in class. You know the type that I'm talking about. This was post-Columbine, so quiet kid jokes were told, but kind of in a whispered tone. Nobody wanted to actually trigger the quiet kid or generally cause anything really bad to happen, and Kenny never actually showed serious signs of violence. Well, mostly anyway. Occasionally some of the cool kids would give him crap and he'd lash out and sort of yell at them. And whenever he got angry, his voice became incomprehensible, which really didn't help with people calling him an R-word or slow or a prospective danger to society. Now, a few things about Kenny that were actually true. His mom cut his hair in a bowl cut, and the 2000s you'd think that she'd absolutely have to know that this was going to bring the wrath of 1,000 high schoolers down on him. And he also carried a Spider-Man backpack at all times, one from the animated series, and it was before people thought things like this were retro and cool, and so that was another reason people dunked on poor Kenny. He could barely communicate if you spoke to him. He'd spend so long thinking about what you said that it felt like he was almost ignoring you, and you had to learn to just stand there and wait, and eventually Kenny would reply. Most times anyway. Sometimes he really would just zone out, and you'd have to sort of yell his name to snack him, to start snacking on him. Hannibal Lecter. Father Baines, Scary cannibal stories? We do. People need to start eating each other more. Why did I change my sleep to day schedule? I try to sleep from like midnight to the morning, kind of vibe. And it's because I'm just happier, I'm just more of, if I sleep all day, wake up at night, there's like nothing to do, right? Other than play video games and wait to die. And that's not awesome. I like video games. I don't know, but I feel like I'm just missing out on life, you know what I'm saying? Did I just join and start early? No, sadly we're about 2 hours into it. But, you know, I'll make a community post to let people know we're starting early next time. People will be eating each other soon in the next 50 years when we run out of barley. Damn. I do get a little worried how bad it's gonna get. Like waiting to die instead of going out and finding it myself. Well, that's the thing is then the question is, did you really live, you know? Doesn't mean someone's gonna do it, but I just feel like there's a lot of shit out there I want to do before the bombs drop, you know? Before Israel destroys us all. Sometimes he really would just zone out, and you'd have to sort of yell his name to snap him back to attention. Now looking back, Kenny shouldn't really have been in school with regular kids, or if he was, he should have had some kind of helper or something. And instead, this probably autistic, probably mentally ill kid was just left to fend for himself in the Thunderdome that is high school. Now I was so relieved when this new kid, Bradley, joined the school. He was one of those tall, blonde, wholesome American boys who got along. Am I your dad? I am, yeah. Hope you're doing okay. Be sure to stop by for dinner soon. Sarah, what's up, dude? Roman legionnaires were punished by making them barley rations if they were naughty. Damn. Wonder who even remembers that. I've also been curious, like, how they even come up with, like, the activity of, like, dinosaurs when you watch that, like, Morgan Freeman dinosaur show. When I watch it, I just imagine Morgan Freeman. He's like, and this dinosaur here, this one's really, really cool. I remember drawing this one back when I was in 3rd grade. My teacher said it was kind of stupid, but I told her one day I'm going to make a dinosaur documentary. And there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. And I don't care if they're fake, I'm just gonna make up cool shit that they do because they're big lizards. Maybe some of them had feathers, but we don't know that for sure. But thank you, little autism. Thank you so much for the 5. Your dad appreciates it. Morgan Freeman had a dinosaur show? Wowza, not the mama. Yeah, there's a new dinosaur show. I think it's on Netflix. It's pretty good. I mean, it's about as good as you can imagine. The one thing I never really understood is why the hell are so many dinosaurs near volcanoes? Like, why the fuck, if you were a dinosaur and there was a molten lava spewing out right near you, would be like, maybe that volcano where everything's burned up and turned to ash is filled with food. There's going to be literally no food at that volcano, but I imagine it does look pretty cool when a big lizard is standing by an exploding pile of magma. We eat dinosaurs every day. Who? What's up, Lauren? I was going to start watching the dinosaurs tonight. It's pretty good. But I swear to God, they've had like 50 dinosaur documentaries just called Dinosaurs. Maybe this one has like a underscore at the end of it so it's different. It's like finding different usernames for the same thing. Okay. Thanks for all you do. Help me sleep every night. You're welcome, Mike. Good to see you. And Marty. All the Tylenol Americans loving dinosaurs and trains nowadays. Yeah, they do. Imagine a dinosaur train. That would be sick. They should start drawing dinosaurs onto trains just to really pull that crowd in completely. Joe fixed his sleep schedule, so now I have to fix my sleep schedule. You do. You do. If you ever want to be the biggest, coolest guy in Hollywood. This is where it starts, kid. This is where it starts. The casting couch. I was so relieved when the new kid, Bradley, joined the school, and he was one of those tall, blonde, wholesome American boys who got along well with pretty much everybody. He excelled at sports, he was smart, the works, and I might have been a little jealous, I gotta admit. And so Bradley became friends with basically everyone in no time, but of all the people he hung around the most, it was Kenny. And I guess you could say that he took him under his wing, but it didn't feel patronizing or protective or anything like that. He really brought Kenny out of his shell. It turns out that when he wasn't ostracized and constantly made fun of, Kenny was actually pretty funny, pretty smart guy. He was deeply intelligent and he was an absolute whiz at chess, and so was Bradley. And Bradley slowly integrated Kenny into various friendship groups. And for his part, Kenny, shockingly, integrated right back. And it was like this strange, unique, beautiful kid had been waiting beneath the surface for someone like Bradley to evolve him. And it was absolutely, utterly tragic that it just couldn't last. Now one day, I came in a little too late to school because I didn't have class first period. And as soon as I got there, I could tell some commotion was going on. Cops were there and it looked like they were searching lockers. Kenny's locker in particular this time. I watched as they began. Is going to interfere with my dinner time with the kids. Need to get rid of the kids now. Yeah. See ya. Off to military school so that mom can watch her streams. Her niche YouTuber streams. My friend has an encyclopedia knowledge of all dinosaurs. I once tested by texting him a picture of a random dinosaur. Figured I found at my school and he responded within 5 minutes with the ID. That's awesome. You gotta keep that guy around. You'll need him. In case the dinosaurs ever come back and you know which one not to kiss or ride. Is it normal to have allergies so bad you feel like you're high? Are you sure maybe it's just the Benadryl that you took or something that makes you feel high? I don't know. That does not sound great. It's the chemtrails dripping down into your nasals. So a big graffiti mural of two dinosaurs fighting, all stylized, no words. Fuck yeah, on the side of a train? Can you imagine? Like, you'd make everyone's day. That was neurodivergente. You about the new Spinosaurus? They just like, that's what I'm saying. It's just Morgan Freeman making shit up in his laboratory. He just basically, they gave him some, they didn't even have to pay him to narrate this dinosaur bullshit. They gave him some colored pencils and a new sketchbook, and they're like, just make up some nonsense. Well, this one here is a new spindly Dosilosaurus. It's got a big spine on its back, but it doesn't have a big wiener that it drags behind it, like all the other ones I drew that you guys never use for some reason. Mike Arrington, welcome back for 36 months. Can't believe it's been 3 years. The GOAT. Thank you, Mike Arrington. Love you, bro. Thank you for 3 frickin' years. Appreciate you. New Spinosaurus is different from old Spinosaurus. Yeah, you think it... That's what I'm saying. Like, who's coming up with this? Is it... Like, I just imagine, like, Epstein had an island where he made monsters, and that's where they're all coming from. Why do Spinosaurus always change? I don't know. They're literally just like I really wouldn't be surprised if it's like dinosaurs are just some nonsensical baloney that they just like glue together. Like, this looks like a big monster. Yeah, that one was around probably like 40 billion years ago, and he really liked to eat this big leaf called star leaf, and oh man, he was so hungry all the time. Like, if you stepped in his poop, you might actually fall in. Hey Joel, were you the guy at the gym today who was licking his lips and volunteered to spot me from behind on the leg master? The guy had a weird vibe, so I decided to decline the offer. No, I was in the corner with my pants down, drooling. Am I watching Invincible? Justin, I was talking about it. I watched season 1, right? Season 1 was goated, right? Season 2 of Invincible was so fucking stupid. because like, why the fuck did he like immediately trust his dad after like everything the dad did? And then why does the dad even... And then anyways, long story short, I didn't even finish season 2 really. It just felt like terrible story direction, made no fucking sense. There wasn't any like those... I remember the iconic moments that became memes where they were like, look at what they have to do to replicate even a fraction of our power. Like, is that not one of the greatest fucking lines you've heard in like animation and forever? And like some of the coolest, most gory fucking fight scenes where he's literally grabs his son by the neck, flies through a fucking subway, and as he's flying through the subway, the son is inadvertently, due to the speed and power of his body, destroying the civilians that he's, you know, supposed to protect. The dad is forcing him to do that. And then the rest of the show, like, it's just a bunch of like nonsensical bullshit in season 2 that I just... Now granted, I will say episode 1 of season 1 of Invincible kicks ass, and everything in between that is kind of just whatever until the last episode. But if they could have just did that in season 2, I'd have been okay with that. Now from the sounds of it, season 3 is just like PNG files moving around or some shit on screen, because I don't know, Amazon's like, well, let's just cut the budget till people are dead and homeless. And then yeah, so that sucks. And then The Boys season 5 looks like it's gonna suck, and I hate everything, and that's fine. I like dinosaurs and trains. It was so Art Deco, Joel. Truly beautiful synopsis. I have to say the new season is pretty nice, though. Oh, okay, well that's good. Yeah, I'm glad. I am glad in season 2 that they made what's his name's girlfriend like less bitchy, because she wasn't even like a superhero, but she was, you know, she was like, "Where have you been? Where have you fucking been?" And it's like, bitch, I am saving the world. What the fuck do you do? Go to like a fucking protest? And bitch. The voice of Worf is Battle Beast, and that is neat. That's pretty cool. Cops were there, and it looked like they were searching lockers, Kenny's locker in particular. I watched as they bagged something up and removed it from the premises, and shortly after that, a sniffling, crying Kenny was marched down the corridor in handcuffs. Now here's the story we were told. Bradley, as his best friend, had discovered that Kenny had been planning to dose the food in the school. Bradley, as his best friend, had discovered that Kenny was planning to dose the food in the school cafeteria with some type of poison. And this plan had been underway since well before Bradley joined the school, but instead of making the most of his newfound... God damn it. God damn it. Everything before genetic testing and microbiology, regular animal and regular plant with determined complete bullshit. I bet dinosaurs is the same. Everything before genetic testing and microbiology, wait, what do you mean? I have always had like curiosities pertaining to like carbon dating. Because I mean, wasn't it all based on like a sort of predetermined amount of carbon that was in the atmosphere at a certain time? And if that changes, doesn't that like also change the reliability of like carbon dating itself? I'm not like saying any of this because like I have some axe to grind with any of these sort of narratives or anything to push, but at the same time, you know, there's so much shit in the world that you just wonder, like, going all the way back to like, remember Goebbels from like World War II Nazis? He just said, like, if you tell a lie big enough and often enough, eventually people just believe it. And I was thinking, you know, how often did that, like, translate to, you know, since the fact that a lot of the Nazis came over to the United States or maybe escaped to Argentina, you know what I mean? You just wonder if that same type of, like, propagandistic media apparatus, like, may or may not have eventually found itself into, like, our, you know, prominent forms of media as well. And you just really never know. Or at least maybe we copied their techniques. I'm not saying that directly translates to dinosaurs and trains, but in a weird autistic roundabout way, I think it could. Hey Astral, thank you. I'm so crazy I'm hungry, and you can tell a lie big enough and often enough, you know, often real. What's up, Finksy? How you doing? Operation Pooper Clip, yeah. I've arrived at this weird, like, interpretation of everything where I'm just like, I don't even know if there's, like, I don't even know if anybody in the positions of world leadership are even against each other. Like, I really do wonder to a certain extent if you can get to the top of a hierarchy, and you can, like, if say you were part of a secret society, and if you could infiltrate the government at the highest positions in the United States, infiltrate the government in the highest positions in Iran, infiltrate the government in Russia at the highest positions there, that you could just like coordinate battles in whatever sort of like script you want, basically, and like predetermine the outcome and where the population will be pushed and how they react, how the markets will react, whether or not you like shit on the energy sector, whether or not you completely change the currency to something digital. Mike Benz explains that stuff well. Yeah, what is Mike Benz? Is he a YouTube guy? Or do you listen to him? You need to eat? No worries. Get yourself some food. Unfortunately with you, I don't have much confidence what I thought the world was before. I just wonder, and then like the further you go back, like when you look at like the creation of some of the nations and the fact that some of it's the movement of people to take those places go back 100 years, you start to wonder if it's all, and the fact that, you know, in a correlation to those same type of governments, there's a lot of like overlap between the leadership and, you know, it's, you know, what basically they dictate to occur. I don't know, I really do wonder if any of it's real anymore. Why are you so against people protesting? Oh, I'm not. You know, I'm just saying there's a certain, I have no issue with people protesting at all. I was just making fun of the girlfriend from Invincible. She just looked like one of those like sort of performative protester types where they go out there and they're going to college, they go into a protest, they bitch, they make literally no difference in the world whatsoever, but then feel like so smug and up their own ass about like you know, the work that they've done or something, even though maybe some of their protests are, you know, funded by the same group that really just wants them to protest anyways, in the same way that everything is just controlled on both sides. I don't know. You just wonder the meaningless of it, of all of it, really. Comic writer Jonathan Hickman in the new Ultimate Marvel comics made it all the superpowers of the world just take turns being the global bad country. That's what I thought. Like, what do you go backwards, you're like, okay, it's the United States right now is like the great empire. You go back and then it's the British Empire. And then you go back and what? It's the Danes? Is it the Danes, right? And then what's before the Danes? The Roman? I don't know. I don't know history, I guess, well enough. I'm kind of dumb, but, or rather, I'm not dumb, I'm ignorant to it. But that being said, it's a curiosity where sometimes you kind of wonder if it could be coordinated, could it be pushed? Is the next great empire going to be like pushed towards China? Because China is like, kind of like the preferred method of like how a culture is expected to work, where it's like slightly capitalistic, but primarily, you know, they control the speech so through some type of communistic means where you get put in a, I don't know, you get in trouble or you get your social credit score shut down for speaking, or, you know what I mean? Is that kind of like what is hoped to be implanted throughout the world? I have no idea. Countries are consolidating power. Or is the next thing aliens? Do we get like, is there going to be a bunch of nukes dropped and then we get aliens? You know, aliens show up and they're like, hey guys, we're here to help. We're the really tall gray aliens, and then these are the reptilian aliens, and they're the mean ones, and don't worry guys, we'll protect you. You know, so I mean, there's always a conflict. There's always just this ongoing conflict. There's always an enemy in your mind. I don't know. You're hoping for the aliens, but the thing is like, what if the aliens are just in on it too? To just keep you in some like ever-present loop, you know, some ongoing loop where they just like farm your energy. And what if it goes even beyond, you know, what if it just keeps going? What if like the level, I don't know. It tickles the mind, I suppose. Doesn't really mean much. Still reading, yeah, I'm just fucking jabbering about nothing. Can we keep it Earth-based? Dude, I don't know. I just feel like the aliens would be too good. It's just too good. Like, if you really want to create chaos and divide people, you gotta, like, sure, drop a few bombs here and there, the big ones, but you gotta get the aliens out there, bro. That's the only way to, I mean, even what's his name? George H.W. Bush, wasn't it him that said, like, to bring the world together under one new world order, you need like some sort of external threat, of which would be aliens. And then the fact that the Bush family all goes back to like the CIA, and the fact that the Bushes also indirectly funded the Nazis, and you just kind of wonder to yourself, like, wait a second, do the same sort of like weird secret society just like fund both sides in every war forever to like coordinate the outcome? Because that would be the way to do it. You control this side, you fund this side, but then at the end of the day, you just basically get to decide what occurs and what narratives get pushed. I know how to solve the alien problem. ICE. Yeah. I don't know if you saw that, but didn't the United States government just register aliens.gov as like a website recently? Did you guys see that? Is that important at all? I have no idea. Watchmen did that. The crazy idea of killing everyone to bring them all into one of the same side with fake aliens. Yeah. It's how you consolidate power. You need chaos. You need a controlled demolition of chaos to like make everyone like on their knees begging, please, savior, save us, save us. And then you're the savior. You get to be the savior at the end that says, all right, we'll take care of it, but we got to get rid of your pesky little constitution, or your little civil rights, or your maybe you stay within a city limit. What do you say about that? Project Bluebeam. Yeah, maybe, dude. At this point, I'm just like, this stuff exists, or it's crazy shit has been going on, and it really seems like we've reached, when you look back at it retrospectively, of how divided the nation has been, but at the same time how coordinated and insane the outcome has played out. Like, none of it in my mind feels like organic. Like, it all just feels like some sort of controlled direction where you know what the outcome is, whether that's like a large swath of the population being killed off, God forbid, but you know that a consolidation of power has to occur at some point if they want to accomplish said task. I mean, that's just the sort of innate nature of human beings in general, is to consolidate power and take over the world. It's all we have ever wanted to do within government. And now all of the variables and technology has aligned to the point where it's like literally possible now. Is this a simulation? It might be, dude. We might be in some like ever siphoning loop of just like farming negative energy from the population, but controlling them and keeping them in a non-stop state of never escaping said loop. And you die, and then you repeat the loop, and you die, and you repeat the loop. But now it's like getting to the point where it's like systematically just like farming you, like the Matrix or something. And I'd like to think that's not true, but we'll just think it's not true, because I don't like to be scared. U.S. population is united enough to have common enemies, so it's like we are each other's enemy. Well, yeah, especially whenever like we just have this two-party system that just all it can do is blast each other's ass all day about everything. And I get it, there's lots of things to be frustrated about, but I mean, all I can really do is blame the news, right? Everybody's brains are just like so conditioned to being part of a tribe that they just like take advantage of that, both through knowing that they can make money off of it through greed, but also with a long-term plan of, making it so we can never come together and cooperate to actually make legitimate change or challenge any sort of like, we're certainly never going to challenge any sort of financial systems, which are really at the end of the day the biggest controlling aspect of all society, really. Ass blasters at 12. Maybe it's just the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever finished that. Tribalism is useful because if you control who people hate, you control them better than any other method. Yeah, and if you think about social media, it's like, say you got really pulled down the realm of being like a leftist, right? You really want to be a leftist on the internet, or say you want to be really, you get pulled down the realm of being really far right, right? Just giving it examples. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'm just saying it's known that social media specifically can compartmentalize your sense of reality to only ever existing within that particular, brand of propaganda pounded down your head day in and day out, right? so that like you never actually get any sort of external perspective. You know, you never go outside, you never like touch grass, you never realize that like shaking your neighbor's hand just because they have a stupid sign in their yard doesn't mean they're your enemy at all. It just means that they're part of another cult, another religious cult called politics, and you both just need to decondition each other from that cult and realize that it's you as individuals, as citizens, that need to find constructive ways to make the world a better place, whether it's local politics or mowing each other's fucking yard for free, you know what I mean? Or coming together and making a sunflower pasture. I have no idea. But yeah, you really do get pounded by social media. It sucks. I'd rather die than be a leftist. Well, right, yeah. I'm sure the same way a leftist would say I'd rather die than be they'll call you a Nazi or whatever, right? But that's the thing, is that that's the goal. It wants you to like say stuff like that. It wants you to feel divided. It wants you to perceive an enemy. It wants you to hate someone that deserves love, that deserves to be heard out, and then maybe you can come together and be like, damn, things really escalated quickly. You only need the butter sock cult, guys. You need to join me. You need to send me $1 trillion billion. I'm kidding. I don't need any money. I love sunflower pastures. They're the perfect place to discuss the world. I heard sunflowers actually absorb radiation too, so maybe if you wanted to survive like nuclear fallout, you could plant a bunch of sunflower pastures around your property, and maybe it would absorb radiation. I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that. Big old blunts and chill. I like the sound of it. It's not really achieving anything. It's very old hat. Oh, damn. Fuck. We need a Buttersock propaganda approved news station. Yeah. What's our first decree? This plan had been underway since well before Bradley joined the school, but instead of making the most of his newfound oh my god, I suck. This plan had been underway since well before Bradley joined the school, but instead of making the most of his newfound popularity, Kenny decided to go ahead with it anyway. Bradley had seen the poison in Kenny's locker, and despite his friendship with Kenny, couldn't let this slide and reported it to the school. And it soon spread around that poison found in Kenny's locker was strychnine. Kind of a strange you know what? I don't know if I should say the poison, because it's kind of like giving instructions. Kind of the dad hip of the fourth. Bradley had seen the poison in Kenny's locker, and despite his friendship with Kenny, couldn't let this slide and reported it to the school. One kid's dad was high up in the force and kind of snuck a look at the notes on the investigation, and it looked like they didn't have much on Kenny. He was claiming he didn't even know what that substance was. And then Bradley found the manifesto. It had been hidden behind a false wall in Kenny's locker that he had, and Bradley had somehow dug it out, and it detailed Kenny's plan to poison the food and how on the same day he was going to bring 3 pistols to school belonging to his dad and finish anyone off that way. Bradley brought this manifesto straight to the dean, and I guess he really hadn't thought this through. 1, why was Bradley able to access Kenny's locker, find that wall, and discover this manifesto when the cops didn't? 2, Kenny's dad had died many years ago, and while that didn't rule out the idea of him owning guns, he had been a staunch anti-gun campaigner, so the idea of Kenny accessing his father's guns seemed ridiculous. 3, the manifesto was supposedly written before Bradley even came to the school, but the food that Kenny claimed he was going to poison had not been on the menu until that year. Naturally, this made the school authorities and the cops suspicious. Kenny had been suspended from the school at the time, and since there was no actual proof that he planned to commit any crime. Penis. As someone who was more on the side of the right, I now believe both sides are equally as bad. They are all in bed together, something very sinister, then lie when we question them about it. I mean, yeah, I definitely think within the realm of the media, this like constant pretending that like everything they're doing is something that you as the constituent should just go along with. But then as soon as anybody like deviates from the farm or questions the propaganda, or, you know what I mean, starts to like has preponderances about the patterns and how the inconsistencies and all that kind of shit, somehow, you get ostracized from the group, or you're a bad person, or, oh, you don't want to be like them, do you? The arbitrary them, whatever them is. And it's just like, it's just groupthink, I'm just done, I'm done with groupthink. I never liked it to begin with. The fact that, like, the division was amplified over the past 10 years so much, I guess that's all it took, really, to just, like, get it going. But it was so frustrating how incredibly effective it truly was on people's minds. Who is our common enemy as a buttersock? Maybe the Freemasons, I don't know. Maybe it's the Jesuits. Maybe it's Satan himself. Maybe it's the reptilians, maybe it's the Greys, maybe it's the Archons that lie beyond. Who can say? The Squares. It's the fucking Squares, dude. The Danes, we have to go backwards in time and stop them. Which I guess we must have did, because they're not around anymore. How long have I been doing this? I've just been streaming probably since fucking 2017 maybe, but I've been making YouTube videos since 2014. Where do independent minds go? I don't know, man. I guess you just like speak out and try to create your own, your own media, your own YouTube channels, your own podcasts, and just like try to open people's minds, You could do the whole like change my mind thing on campuses, but your change my mind would be like left and right are, two sides of the same coin, prove me wrong kind of thing. And then you could have a debate with them and just post that video online. And obviously it would be hard because the algorithm's controlled by like the Pentagon and shit. So what the fuck are you going to do? I will say, from the perspective of an ex-evangelical extreme right-winger, I do see a lot more empathy on the left, but politicians are crooked. Yeah, it just depends on the context, I guess, of the issue that one might be appealing to. Like, I never liked the fact that on the left, for some reason, it was like they were saying that it's like punch a Nazi, right? But it's like, who's a Nazi? And a Nazi becomes anyone you dislike, right? Or disagrees with you in your politics. And it's like, so you're fighting hate with hate. It's like, fighting hate with hate doesn't make any fucking sense, right? And so it's just, I can see why there can be some subsets of the individuals being more empathetic towards an individual that might be like an illegal alien or something of that nature. But I mean, just like loosely observing whenever like Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, and the people were just like justifying it by saying he was a stochastic terrorist. And it's like, okay, so a stochastic terrorist is anybody who just like has an opposing viewpoint to you and like has discussions with people, even if they say stuff you don't like. It's like you somehow are like, we gotta kill him. It's like basically saying like, we gotta kill baby Hitler before he becomes Hitler. And it's like, but in reality, you just ended up killing a baby kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. But that's the thing, is like, whenever you want to like consolidate power in whatever way, in whatever sociopathic manner that goes through your head, you can tell yourself fucking anything to justify a negative action. I mean, psychopaths do it all the fucking time. Politicians do it all the fucking time. But you really have to have some degree of like self-reflection to the point where you're like, well, okay guys, slow down. What the fuck is wrong with us? What the fuck is wrong with people? Might makes right is the current paradigm we live under. It's totes bogus. Yeah. It's sad. I mean, that's where it starts. It's like you call someone a Nazi to punch them, right? And then eventually it's like, oh, well, we can punch you, we can kill you, and I don't think that narrative should ever be allowed to like get as far as it did. His wife killed him, just look at, that's the thing, is like, I definitely am on the side of like the conspiratorial aspect, where like potentially there was a microphone that was connected to his like lapel and it exploded, some sort of projectile into his neck. I'm totally on board with that. But at the same time, the fact that you had so much people on social media like cheering it on and like genuinely stoked about his death and not seeing how much of a fucking slippery slope a nation can just like break down at any moment and break into like wild violence over that kind of stuff, civil war, all that kind of thing. And it's almost like, dude, I don't want chaos. I don't want the world to be in chaos. I like existing in this nation that's kind of been like free from it all. I don't enjoy the fact that my government does terrible things to its people and the surrounding people in the world. But I don't want that chaos to come here at the same time, but I don't know. I don't know if it's even avoidable at this point. What the fuck is up with the cat's pics? The cat's pics? You mean on my story? I have a knack for being stupid and ignoring tomorrow's horrors, but some are fretting. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like things are building up for sure, and it's just... It sucks because even if you don't care about it, even if you really care about it, it's that weird feeling where you're like, I can't fucking do anything. Like if they want to do a ground assault on Iran tomorrow, and the first wave of this amphibious ground-to-ground assault, you know, hundreds or thousands of Americans are killed in some sort of weird D-Day thing. You know, I can't do anything about that. And then they send another one, and then it's successful, and then they take Tehran or some shit, you know what I mean? I can't do anything about it. And then Tehran, you know, shoots a fucking nuke somewhere in, we'll say Atlanta, Georgia, hypothetically. I can't do anything about it, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking annoying. Are in it together, and they just trick the voters into hating each other, and it works so well. It really does, yeah. They all get paid at the end of the day. They all have their handler. They all get their palms greased. Just let the gay spiders get married who has time to be arachnophobic. Good point. Good point. Oh, low-key Jade, welcome to the Buttersell Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Alright, sorry, I'm just yammering. Here we go. Naturally, this made the school authorities and the cops suspicious. Kenny had been suspended from school at the time since there was no actual proof he planned on committing a crime, and then the next thing we knew, Bradley was no longer in attendance either. It turns out Brad was a psychopath who had been kicked out of his last school for antisocial behavior. His father owned an exterminator firm that specialized in killing rats, and one of the few remaining uses of that poison is in rat poison. Kenny would not have been able to get his hands on that type of stuff easily. Bradley would have. And eventually, with warrants served, the cops were able to prove that bottles of this stuff were missing from Bradley's dad's inventory. And not only that, they were able to get access to the family computer, and what they found was very damning: a saved file containing the whole manifesto. According to the kid, whose dad was one of the lead detectives, Bradley broke down and sang like a canary. Not a remorseful one, but a proud one. When he arrived at the school and first saw Kenny and heard the quiet kid jokes, he was curious. He wanted to know what kind of punishment would be dealt out to someone who might be a school-based criminal, and he was curious about the effect it would have on Kenny. Rumor has it that when asked, Bradley coldly admitted that he was curious if Kenny would commit some kind of... Damn it. Whee! Donate another 1K to APAC in your name, Joel, again today. It's 5K total. Thanks, bro. That should keep my lapel mic from exploding here.
We're good, folks. I paid. I went to the wall. I gave it a kiss. I blew it a kiss, really. I didn't want to get too close.
As long as the gay spiders keep it in their... the gay spider. Alright. Rumor has it that when asked, Bradley coldly admitted that he was curious if Kenny would commit some kind of act against himself. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what happened to Bradley. He was expelled, but I'm not sure what kind of criminal charges were brought against him. His father doubled down on the misplaced poison having nothing to do with his son, and so we never saw Bradley again. And we never saw Kenny either. The whole incident broke him, and I wish I could say that he'd overcome his experiences, returned to school, and been embraced by us again. I know we would have welcomed him back, but Bradley broke him. Kenny spent the rest of his high school career in some kind of mental institute, and for all I know, he's still there. I've tried to find him a few times, but I've never been successful. And on the chance that you're living your best life, Kenny, and also somehow hear this, I wish you the best. Bradley, you seem to be a psychopath, and I hope you ended up locked away for the safety of everyone. Spending my teenage years around someone like you was the most chilling and horrific thing possible, and the way you tortured poor Kenny is unforgivable. Adults can be awful, but kids can be truly, truly evil. You ever think about how stupid the Itsy Bitsy Spider song, just some lazily watching a broski and not helping? Good point, yeah. Get in there, grab that spider, and then it just bites you. This is what Joel was saying, though. Pre a certain era, people weren't factually correct, nor did they realize when a song is just gross. What are you talking about? Joel is a synth. Everyone's being replaced.
Slowly but surely, all of my YouTube money will go right to Tel Aviv.
Okay, so this, I don't think this is the last story, but we're getting there. Oh, is this the last story? 10:45. Last story. Okay, guys. Fix this grammar. Don't change the story. Oh. Bing bong wing wong. This seems to be a long one, though. Stream's almost over already. Well, not entirely. We've been going for like 3 and some hours. You got a new computer, you still have the wrong time. Yeah, I didn't transfer my workflow over to my new computer yet, just my video games. It's just annoying. There's so much shit on this computer, bro, that like to bring it all over to my other gaming PC is just like, fuck, dude, what a pain in the butt. I will do it. It's just like I gotta like, that's why I switched my schedule so I can just really lock the frick in on minor objectives. Also, I will be right back. I'm gonna get some of that there tea.
I just had 15 cigarettes.
My gummy ended up being melatonin Joel plus me sleeping merrily tonight. Yeah, exactly. I'll be more in the mornings. Okay. Alright. Hello, nurse. The lights in my town are really beautiful at night, like 9:47 p.m. where I'm at. Let's go. Let's all smoke 500 cigarettes together. Just kidding. You think they could make a healthy cigarette? Like just something. Something fun. Doesn't kill you. Do you know what time you're starting the streams now? Ish. I'm thinking 7:30 p.m. EST. Because then that gives me like a solid, like a time to aim for, but a solid like window to really try to get into bed before midnight, you know what I mean? Because then I can't feed my gremlin or it'll kill me. But yeah, I'm trying to fix the sleep schedule, and I think we're almost there. Hello, Mr. Joey Let's Read. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? We got cookies and cream. We got cookie dough. We got raspberry. Raspberry was my favorite when I was younger because my uncle showed it to me. And then coincidentally he's like, "Have you tried cookies and cream?" I'm like, No, I never tried it before. What does it like? And he was like, "Try it. Have a taste." I was like, holy fuck, this is my new favorite. And it's kind of funny to think that like your favorite ice cream flavor was something you just decided arbitrarily when you were fucking 5 years old. And that's just it. Like that's just whatever reason you had your palate was refined enough to determine what it should be forever. I've been saying for years you need to start your life live early. Glad you're finally doing it. Yeah, thank you. What's up, crew? What's up, TB Cat? You're streaming permanently now? I think, yeah, permanently 7:30 p.m. I really just want to be in bed by midnight, have a normal life, maybe meet somebody, kill them. Sorry. Just become a psychopath out of nowhere. Just kidding. You know the deal. I want to be normal. I want to fit in. I must fit in. You didn't try all the flavors at 5. Yes, but you still determined what your favorite was very early on. What song's playing, please? What was it again? Somebody asked it earlier, I forget. Those Zyn pouches are still addictive, but pretty harmless since you're basically oral ingesting nicotine. Oh yeah, I don't use Zyn anymore. I stopped doing those as well. I mean, I would only do them with friends and stuff, but I've heard bad things about Zyns. Like, people would, like, smoke cigarettes for years and all that kind of stuff. You throw a Zyn in, there's something about it. I don't know, it's like the concentrated nicotine rather than, like, coming from a fucking plant. I don't know. Get all your stuff from Mother Earth, would you? Glacial, that's right, by Annette. Okay. What's up, May? Here we go, last story. Turkey Tom was hyper addicted to them, yeah.
Turkey Tom loves his cigarettes. How are you gonna smoke cigarettes and get any gains at the gym? It's counterintuitive.
Fair enough, do that. You help with my work schedule, so I'm all for a change. Heads up would be nice, though. Yeah, sorry about that. I will definitely post a thing. Mouth tobacco is worse than smoking. Is it? Is it really? It's kind of crazy. Just like from the irritation on the gums and stuff. When I was younger, in high school, I admit that I was a bit of a stoner. And a sort of emo goth type who probably didn't cake. Oh my god, I might as well quit reading forever. Cigarettes in this economy? I know, right? We should keep taxing them until they're $1 million trillion. They are being biatches. I've ingested nicotine every way. Nothing like 2 8-milligram pouches in each cheek to put you on the ground. Ugh, dude. For me, when I would take them, I couldn't handle anything over 4. Like someone would give me a 6er, and I would just get nauseous. And yeah, that's it. You probably don't want to consume things that make you sick. And it also would just like give me anxiety. It was basically like the first time you drink like a 300 milligram energy drink. That's how I felt with like Zins every time. Oops. I think it has to do with the gums and the vibrant blood circulation, the tissues in the mouth, plus the idea of planting this wad on your gums every day. That's true. In the same spot. I mean, I do remember throwing them in, and you would feel like the gums would be a little bit broken down. Even if they weren't bleeding, they clearly were like agitated. Have I smoked cigarettes? I've smoked a cigarette, but not like as a habit or anything like that. I remember, you go to the bar, have a beer or 6, and then you walk out and someone's like, want a cigarette? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. As a treat. And like, sure, I was pregnant, but like, Pradeep turned out all right. He is a cat, though. He has hair all over his body. When I was younger, in high school, I admit that I was a bit of a stoner. A sort of emo goth type who probably didn't take care of herself that well and smoked a little too much weed. Now, this was before weed was legal, too, so we couldn't just walk to the store and pick some up. We'd spend our weekends hanging out in this sort of cubby hole under a bridge. Not like the one from that famous dancing video you probably remember. And we'd turn it into a bit of a hangout space. Rugs, magazines, a battery-powered stereo, the works. Now, one rule was if you showed up, then you brought snacks. And there was one guy who didn't follow that rule, or any of them really, and his name was Birmingham. And that wasn't really his real name. I imagine that, but that's what he insisted we call him. Because get this, he'd been to Birmingham in England once on a vacation for like a month. And there were a bunch of ways Birmingham didn't fit in. He was a guy. He looked like the Joker. Did your orchid survive? Years ago, no, it did not. I tried my best. But apparently, a friend of mine who like actually does the orchid thing says that you're supposed to like transfer it to, like you're supposed to replant it onto the side of like a piece of bark or some shit. Is that true? Joe, you're fixing your sleep schedule and your health, and I'm relocating, considering settling down. The winds of change are palpable. It's going to be something to do with planets. I don't know. Well, yeah, you told me it was, Mercury was coming out of Flavor-Aid, so, coming out of Powerade. So I said, fuck it, dude, we ball. I thought you did, Justin, I swear to God, you said you've had kids. You're like, I'm done being a single dad, I'm settling down. Wait, well, a deadbeat dad, that's what I meant to say. Not that you are, but we need more deadbeat moms, you know what I mean, to like even things out. I feel like moms need to just start getting lazy with it. Just start having kids and just handing them over. Just be like, I don't fucking want it. See ya. I'm going to the arcade. I got a big Sonic to win. Venus is in retrograde. Get with it, old man. I'm sorry. You can lash me. 1,000 lashings for the non-space scientist. Justin, I swear to God, you said multiple times in the stream you had like 2 kids. I swear it. I swear that. He wasn't a goth or emo, he was more of a hippie. And he was this white dude with dreadlocks, although I'm not sure if they were dreads or whether his hair was really just that unkempt. Birmingham would never arrive with snacks either, and he'd never contribute free stuff to the den. He'd just stroll in and hang out while the rest of us put the work in. And while some of us might not have the best kind of hygiene, Birmingham had absolutely reeked of BO, and whoever got stuck sitting next to him, usually one of the girls, would have to develop a tolerance to his smell. Oh, and did I mention that Birmingham was 32? A 32-year-old stinking hippie hanging out with high school goths and emos, and he was not shy about hitting on some of the girls in the group. So, you're probably asking, why did we tolerate him? And the answer was simple. We were young, dumb, and he would buy us alcohol and provide us with weed. And for a price, mind you, which made no secret. Dude. Okay, so there's this girl at the diner that I go to. And the one time I saw her, she wasn't my server. She had some table, a table over. But every time she came in, and it was the most confusing sensation I've ever had in my life. She wasn't even at my table, but she just reeked of BO. And I don't know why that was so confusing to me, but it was just really funny to think about a girl having BO. Because I know they're so cleanly, and they're like cats. They want to bury their shit in sand or whatever. And so the idea of a girl stinking was just something that really stuck with me. And I just remembered her, going back to the diner now at this point, probably months later. And I was there today, and I saw we were going to get her, and I was like, oh fuck, it's the chick with BO. And she didn't have BO, so that was really exciting. But she did have a Boston accent, which I thought was really fucking weird. She's like, hey guys, what can I get you? What's going on? Yeah, no worries, yeah. Oh, that's no problem. We'll get you whatever you want, gentlemen. And this chick's young. This is a young person working as a server. I'm and I don't live anywhere fucking near goddamn Boston. And so of course after a little bit I'm like, where are you from? You got an interesting accent. And she listed some town that's she said over the mountain. And when she said the town, it's literally fucking a 10-minute drive there, and there's no fucking, I don't know what mountain she's fucking talking about. But it was just really funny in my head to think the girl who had really bad BO now has a fucking Boston accent. And she's just I like to imagine she's part of some thespian group, maybe a little autistic, and is just trying to reinvent herself some way by creating this character that she turns into whilst serving people food. And honestly, I'm all for it. I think more people should method act at their job and just be something. But yeah, that's what I thought. It was some type of thespian type thing. But when she said she was just from over the thing, and the reason her voice sounded like that is because she talks kind of fast. And I was like, that don't make no sense. Boop, thank you for the $9.63. After asking higher power to show me a sign before bed about all the evil that runs the country, the rooster woke me up at exactly 5:55 next month. Dude, I had the same fucking thing, man. I had the same mother freaking thing that I got. I woke up at it was the day after I tried to switch my sleep schedule, and I woke up at exactly 4:44, right? And in my head I'm like, 4:44, because sometimes I'll have that where I get like feelings and it's like 3:33, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, so you just assume like some demon or whatever is like, fuck you, you're not sleeping, you suck. And then so I was well, you know what? I'm gonna open up another tab here. What does 444 in angel numbers mean? Question mark. And it said it was stability and foundation. The number 4 is tied to structure, which was exactly what I was looking for, like a better structure in my life. Your build something that amplifies career habits and a mindset. In spiritual circles, 444 is said to mean you're not alone. Guidance or protection is around you. People interpret this as angels, but it can also just be a reminder to trust your own direction. You're on the right path. Work decisions, fitness, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it seemed like it made sense. Just gotta like build a foundation, more of a foundation, a little bit, or at least we're on the right path, I suppose. But wait, what does 555 mean pertaining to what you asked? It's funny, I like make fun of people for astrology, but I'm like, 444, guys.
It's my angel number. Oh.
Duke, thank you for the 1. Appreciate you, dude. And Boop Corp says, transformation and change, 555, symbolizes a period of profound evolution. It's a message that your current path is shifting and you're being guided toward a higher purpose. And that higher purpose is to polish the shoes of the reptilians that will soon rule you in your region of future America. Just kidding. I'm telling you, Joe, I'm telling you, Charlie Day. Look over here. Look over here. This is 5. This is number 5. You get too many 5s together and things get weird. Which one's the love number? I don't know. How come no one cops to seeing 666? We should ask, though. It probably has some different meaning we're not used to. What does 666 mean in... And I call it angelology. Angelology. It's a new science. But what the fuck is that? 666 means you have a big fucking boner. The number 6 associated with home, responsibility, relationships, emotional, and the worship of Satan. Getting out of your head, a big interpretation is you've been overthinking, stressing, and focusing too much on negative thoughts. You're spiraling mentally. Step back and ground yourself. More like Otto from Homer. Yeah, the guy who, like, does Disco Steve. I saw him doing all of his voices from The Simpsons, and I was like, holy shit. Because I've seen that actor in a lot of different stuff, and he's really good. And I didn't realize he was, like, pretty much all the voices in The Simpsons. It's crazy. 666 is actually a good number that's been twisted into Satanism. It's not that at all. Yeah, I remember it was, like, something to do. 666 was the number of... What's his name? Nero, the number of Nero, who was like an antichrist or like a ruling king that killed Christians or something like that. Oh, Disco Stew. Sorry. It was Scuba Steve and Disco Stew. Roman Nero? I think so. I think the 666 represented, yes, the number of the beast, but then it also something to do with Nero and basically represents, I don't know. But then people point to like gematria. Do you guys do gematria shit at all? Like that weird shit where like numbers equal words and words equal numbers. That stuff's kind of interesting to me. I feel like that's something that is kind of important. Hey, Stematron, good to see you. Love you too, bro. The number of the beast, Iron Maiden. Anyways, look into gematria because it's kind of fascinating. It's kind of fartinating. Duff Brew, yeah. I think it probably ends up being the same dude. Alright, anyways, wait, where was I? We were making our way through this story. They were hanging out with a 32-year-old named Joel. The fuck? For a price, mind you, which he made no secret about skimming a profit from. He just sort of shown up one day, told us that he could hook us up with just whatever we wanted. God damn it. Duff guy. He just shown up one day, told us that he could hook us up just as we'd been wondering how the hell. What the fuck? Why is this such a long sentence? He just shown up one day, told us that he could hook us up just as we've been wondering how the hell to get into substance abuse. Spoiler, just don't. And he sort of just stuck around ever since. And so Birmingham, despite all of his flaws and age gap and being a creep, was very much always at our hangout. He acted like he was the king of the castle when we were his adoring servants, especially the women. Even though all of us resisted his quote-unquote charms, he behaved as if we constantly lusted after his stinky-ass body. He was gross, to put it mildly, and we were dumb enough to let him stick around anyways. And there were maybe 8 of us, including Birmingham, on and off, 4 girls, 3 high school guys, and this Birmingham guy. 2 of the guys were far too of losers to really ever stand up against him, and one of them was as much of a predator creep as Birmingham was. So between Birmingham and this other weirdo, whose name was Josh, us girls really had to watch ourselves. We just moved into our junior year. Moved into... Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, due to the Hannibal NBC, I am attracted to Wendigo, so Wendigo. Hannibal? The guy, like, Hannibal Lecter, like he ate people? Are there Wendigos in that show? That actually would be amazing. Isn't gematria part of Jewish mysticism? Yeah, I think so. And that's why I kind of wonder, because, like, if that's what they meant with the 666 is the number of the beast, meaning, like, you would have to use gematria to, like, find whose name associates with that. Which countries have I been to? Yeah, so not many. I mean, Puerto Rico. Well, no, that's territory. Sorry, fucking Haiti, Dominican Republic. Really not too far. Jamaica, Canada. Oh, I guess Australia. That was probably the biggest trip I ever did. I haven't traveled in a while since then, really. That dude was the voice of Earthworm Jim. Oh shit. What's up, Frost? Drew the Hannibal series. Oh jeez, Hannibal really did a number on everyone. I have not been to Oregon. Maybe one day. How many stories left? This, unfortunately, is the last one. We just moved into junior year when Birmingham ramped up his behavior. He singled out a couple of the girls, they were named Sandy and Bridget, and started trying to get them to engage in some really strange actions with him. At first, he offered free joints in exchange for this, and then it was an entire free baggie of weed, and then it was weed and unspecified pills. He must have been really desperate to get touched. That's all he was really aiming for, to start with, that is. What the fuck? He must have been really desperate to get touched, as that's all he was aiming for, to start with anyway. And a rumor went around that Sandy did actually give in and even did some strange stuff with him for a bag of weed, and we didn't see her for about a week. And when she came back to the group, she seemed down and ashamed and wouldn't look anyone in the eye, and we got the impression that whatever experience she'd had with him had not been a good one. And knowing how pressurizing Birmingham could get, I could only imagine. Now, none of us wanted to bring it up with Sandy in case it wasn't that, but behind her back, most of the boys were not sympathetic, especially Josh, while obviously the girls felt bad for her. And we began talking about how to get rid of this Birmingham, but the boys were having none of it. He was our free ticket to weed and alcohol, and we weren't losing that just because Sandy wanted a freebie. These little assholes. I'm not going to pretend Sandy was innocent in this whole affair, but if you knew Birmingham, you'd know how far he'd tried to go to get what he wanted. And the fact that it had taken until now was a miracle. The thing that changed everything was when this new girl joined junior year and quickly became a member of our group. Now, her name was Summer, and ironically, she had also just... Should share screen text so we can read with you. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. But I thought about like what I could put like visually in the background besides just that. Like I thought about gameplay footage. Would you guys ever be interested in gameplay footage? I don't know if that's kind of like, I don't know, like Minecraft bullshit or something. I don't know. Who fucking knows, dude? Reading? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no! What part of the Congo did I grow up in? It's called Mongolis. It's got big banana spider. Her name was Summer, and ironically she had almost jet black hair, completely natural. And she soon became one of us, and Birmingham was smitten, and so was Josh. This was the first rift. Summer was one of those girls who was confident and she dressed provocatively, but she had no interest in doing anything with a dude, and so began a competition between Josh and Birmingham to be one of... Hey Ike, what's up, bro? How's your night? You feeling joyful? I feel good, man. The fact that my sleep is normal, I'm excited for tomorrow. We're getting back into training again after a week away, and
the Lord hath smiled upon me with my angel number. That shall be known as the 444.
Gameplay from Scary Games like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. We listen and we judge. That's actually hilarious you say that, because my buddy's daughter says, she says that a lot. She's like, we listen and we don't judge. And then she says some usually strange stuff. But she says that like during recess or whatever, they go out and then they play this game called We Listen and We Don't Judge. And then they just say some wild ass shit to each other or something. I don't know. I'm like, are you saying truthful things or is this just made up crap?
No, I judge. I judge real hard.
Use gameplay from Eugenics while you read. Oh, that'd be good. You like Eugenics? You like that game, Dan? Okay. And so began a competition between Josh and Birmingham to be the first one to get Summer without clothes. They weren't trying to sleep with her, not yet anyway. They just made a bet to be the first one to consensually see her, and the consensual part wasn't out of respect or anything. It was just for bragging rights between these two weirdos. Naturally, Summer didn't appreciate this from the start, having two guys, one of whom was literally 32 and stank, trying to get her to do something like flashing, and she began asking some of us privately why we tolerated this weirdo, and so we explained. And then she asked why we tolerated Josh, and we started realizing that there really wasn't actually a good reason for that. He was a creepy idiot too, but he normally targeted girls outside the group. There were all sorts of rumors circulating about the way he'd treated past girlfriends. Summer decided that she'd try to handle it, and her solution was to offer some kind of vague incentive to Josh or Birmingham, to which one beat the other in a fight. Very clearly beat, no question that... What is this saying? Some kind of vague incentive to Josh or Birmingham, to whichever one would win. Very clearly beat, no question that they'd won, i.e. she meant one of them to put the other in the hospital. Okay.
This shit's getting real.
Even if you fart in a public toilet, you should flush. That's true. They should make toilets where it's just a little hole just for farts. Like, nope, you can't poop in them, you can only fart in them.
Yeah.
Okay. Summer decided she'd try to handle it, and her solution was to offer some kind of vague incentive to Josh or Birmingham, to whichever one beat the other in a fight. And very clearly beat, no question that they'd won, i.e. she meant one of them to put the other in the hospital. Summer had expected them to say no, that it wasn't worth it, but apparently this high school boy and this 32-year-old man were willing to risk killing each other over seeing some girl's body, and so it was decided that the fight would be that Friday night. Summer had become my personal best friend, really, so she was panicking to me on the telephone about this. And of course she didn't want anyone to get hurt, she just wanted both of them to just screw off. We couldn't think of any solutions other than to try and de-escalate the fight or call the cops if we really had to. And ultimately, none of that needed to happen. We all showed up to the hangout on Friday.
Birmingham. Hello, I'm Big Ham, Birmingham.
Hey, Drew C., welcome back. I'm back. Yeah, honestly, maybe Birmingham is a Wendigo. We all showed up to the hangout on Friday. Birmingham made some disgusting crude comment about how he was going to win the fight and Summer would be compelled to do all sorts of unspeakable things. And that's when he attacked. Only the attack didn't come from Josh. Now remember I said the other two guys who were too much of babies to ever stand up against Birmingham? Well, it turns out that wasn't true. One of them, a guy named Craig, suddenly went flying across the room, slamming Birmingham against the concrete wall of the hangout and pinning him there by the throat. Craig was a big guy, tall and large, and he had no problem holding this skinny, wiry Birmingham guy in place. And it all came out. How much we all hated Birmingham, and how he was a stinking, vile parasite who could only get with women by trying to bribe children with drugs. How none of us could stand him, basically everything we'd ever wanted to say to him. You see, we found out later that Craig had been developing a burning, powerful crush on Summer, and the more Birmingham and Josh talked about her like that, the more quietly and fuming he got. And then he just snapped. We watched in silent awe as Craig headbutted Birmingham square in his nose, audibly breaking it, and we listened as he threatened to gut him violently if he ever showed his face around the hangout again, or even around town. And then he pulled the hunting knife out of his belt. And that's the exact moment Josh walked in, looking sick and nervous, presumably for his fight with Birmingham, and you'd expect that this to... Bo Birmingham. The contest for most smelly. That escalated quickly. A real brouhaha. And then Doug Dimmadome walked in from the Dimmadones. Isn't it pronounced Birmingham? Yeah, if you're from there, but I mean, if you're an American and some dipshit's like, I'm from Birmingham, that's how they'd probably say it. Goddamn Demigorgon. How does one fight a man called Birmingham? I guess you just plow his head into the concrete. Pretty straightforward. Oh shit, it's almost 11:30, almost bedtime, guys. We gotta roll. My mom's gonna spank my ass if I'm not in bed by 12. That's the exact moment Josh walked in, looking sick and nervous, presumably for his fight. You'd expect this to distract Craig, but it didn't. He held the knife up to Birmingham's throat so tightly that it drew beads of blood and told him how serious he truly was. And then Craig dropped some info we didn't know. He mentioned the name of his family, a well-known Irish-American gang in town who were, to say the least, serious business. And when Birmingham heard that, that's what finally broke him. He began to cry, begging forgiveness and apologizing to Craig. And Craig said it wasn't him who deserved the apology, it was Summer. And Summer just shook her head and said she didn't care, she just wanted this guy out of there. And so Craig let him limp away, and that was the last we ever saw of that creepy borderline pedo drug dealer. Yeah. Beer matcha, honestly, would try it. Gonna start a YouTube channel, Cocked Can't Sleep, where all I do is scream into the mic. You can't, it's anti-ASMR. Just the worst, ear rape noises ever. How's my Gigablast lip goop? Gigablast. Oh, I tried it. I don't really know. It just, it's like a big, I don't know. It's like a big white goop. And I don't know, it didn't really feel like it was appropriate for the usage on lips, I'll be honest with you. I like coffee or tea more. I like coffee. So Craig let him limp away, and that was the last we ever saw of that creepy borderline... So Craig let him limp away, and that was the last we ever saw of that creepy drug dealer again. Now meanwhile, Josh had been watching the whole thing with a sort of sick look on his face, as I said, and Craig turned to him, tucked the knife back into his belt, and just gave him this look that sort of said, "You could be next." And the group kind of dissipated after that. Nobody really had the energy to hang out with each other with all that violence hanging in the air, and Summer and I stayed friends, and the other girls and guys sort of drifted away. We're still friends to this day, and sometimes Summer and I talk about how we were regularly hanging out with 3 different guys who were scary in their own way. And there was Josh, who I later found out got kicked out of college for his conduct with a female student. And then there was Birmingham, who, looking back, was more terrifying than I truly realized. An adult male trying to use intoxicants to get underage women into bed with him. And while he was maybe the least dangerous, Craig was definitely the scariest. Nothing suggested he'd explode that day. Nothing gave away that he was the black sheep of an extremely violent family. And all we can be grateful for is that Craig's first outburst of rage was directed at the right target. Now, as a sort of epilogue, I am happily married with 2 kids. Summer is still single, seems to have no interest in romance, and plays the part of the wine aunt perfectly. Josh, who the hell knows? Craig didn't go into the family business of whatever the hell the O'Malleys did, not their real name, and is actually a balding accountant. I don't really give a fuck about the epilogue. I'm just gonna read the last part. And while he was maybe the least dangerous, Craig was definitely the scariest. Nothing suggested he'd explode that day, and nothing gave away that he was the black sheep of an extremely violent family. And all we can be grateful for is that Craig's first outburst of rage was directed at the right target. The epilogue feels like Sandlot. I know, I don't really like those type of outros. They just seem pointless. Anticlimactic. Alright. Well, outro time, friends. I beat the clock. Wait, that was the last story, right? Yeah, I think that was all she wrote. And yeah. Anticlimatonic. Do you have your outro from your videos memorized? You know what's funny is not really. Hey friends, thanks for listening. If you want to listen to more, like I actually don't. And I guess it would require practice for me to memorize it. And it's like I practice saying it or whatever, but I haven't practiced saying it without having the script right in front of me. So it's like crazy that it just never stuck. And it's kind of an indication of how my brain learns is probably through taking the... Yeah, anyways. But yeah, tonight was an earlier stream, as I said. I will definitely put a community post so people know whenever the streams are going to be, probably more towards, which is like more of a 7:30 time frame. Like I said, I'm on a normal sleep schedule, which is going to be just better in general. But yeah, you know, follow me on Instagram at letsread.official to be kept up to date when I go live. I posted a picture of Pradeep this time, which I'll do every time now for when I go live, so that should be quite exciting for everyone. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and there are super fun live streams that I'm starting a little bit earlier lately at 7:30 p.m. EST on Sundays and Wednesday nights. If you got a story, be sure to submit them over at my email at letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com, and you might even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks for members of the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories and big compilations located anywhere you listen to podcasts. And I also have a true crime channel called Saturn Soul. All links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, I'm going to go play Harvest Moon BTN after this. What's BTN? Yeah, baby. Back to nature. All right, we're leaving it in. Is it fun? What do you do in Harvest Moon? Is it pretty much just kind of like island. What's it called? What the hell's that game called with the animals in the island? Animal Crossing. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. I'm going to get this up over on Patreon. It's only $1 a month over there. It's just a farming simulator. That sounds chill. It sounds like a cozy game. Pacopia breaks my heart. How come? What time do streams start now? I'm thinking like 7:30 p.m.-ish. I just feel like that's going to get me, like if I go on a long rambling bullshit about, you know, politics or whatever stupid thing, or talking about, you know, loosh, we can, you know, get it done before midnight, before bedtime, so I can be normal. That's 4:30 for you? Oh, p.m., right. Damn, that is kind of crazy. People be at like work and shit and I'm live streaming. How about you just read your little stories instead? Joel resists his night out urges. I'm trying, bro. I really am. And honestly, I'm much happier for it. The premise is that all humans have left the Earth because they destroyed it and left the Pokemon behind. Oh, okay. I figured it would be like a prehistoric kind of story where all the Pokemon are there before the humans or something. But maybe not. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking with me. Love you. Appreciate you. I will get this video up on YouTube, same time, same place, 9 p.m. EST. That's not changing. Every Monday and Thursday. So stay tuned. What's my time zone? It's EST. So it's like 11. It's 11:29 right now. EST. I'm in the middle of year 1 winter, fully upgraded farm, married to Papori, 26-year-old save file from my freshman year of high school in 2000. It's amazing. Alright, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.